if you're looking to buy a vehicle, this is why you need to use our sponsors, because the Don Mealy Group, Sport Subaru, Sport Mitsubishi, right there in West Colonial Drive,
yes,
and Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont, they're not going to sell their cars or trucks for above MSRP.
Oh, a lot of places are doing it and taking advantage of the customer, and that's not something that we want you guys to have to deal with. In fact, we'll go a step further and give you a point of contact at these dealerships for somebody that you can talk to that's basically a buddy of ours, Mike Stacks. He's over on the Mitsubishi and the Subaru side of things. You just tell him you're a BDM, tell him you listen to the show, and he's going to help you out.
Yep, it's good to know a guy, and as soon as you talk to Mike, if you're looking for a Subaru Mitsubishi on West Colonial Drive, he knows you're a BDM, a Tom and Dan listener. He's going to give you the better service.
But I want a Chevy, Tom.
Yeah, okay, if you want a Chevy.
No offense to Mitsubishis
that's
and Subaru,
fine.
but I want that new electric Chevy. Give me the electric.
If you're talking to Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont, use J.C. Harrelson. Speak to him, ask for him. He will take care of you, especially if he knows you're a Tom and Dan listener.
Yeah.
And then by using our dealerships, you're not going to pay above MSRP. You got someone to talk to personally. Buying a car in this market is crazy, so it's good to know someone inside. And if they know that you're a listener, they will take care of you and treat you correctly. So it's Sport Subaru, Sport Mitsubishi, right there on West Colonial Drive, or Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
Let's do some emails.
Yes.
What do we got here?
All right. Surfshark. What? Surfshark is contacting Tom and he has no idea what it is? They are an up-and-coming hop on that train. They sponsor a lot of YouTubers. Kara and Nate, who are a married couple who travel the world, is one example. They have millions of followers. I have a VPN. It scrambles your personal info so your phone doesn't get hacked. I'm a day trader and at times have my account open on my phone. Anyway, have Tom get his S together if they want T&D. Think of all the personal stuff you do through your phone. More people I know use a VPN than don't. No response necessary, just a heads up that people do use VPNs. I sent this to you since Tom never reads anything, and we know it's you that keeps this boat floating.
That's not true. Tom reads everything. He just doesn't reply to everything.
Yeah.
He doesn't have time to reply to everything because he needs to make money.
I'll read. If you ask me a question, I'll reply. But if you just tell me something, I often don't feel the need to reply because you're like, you didn't ask me a question, you're just telling me something.
Right.
So,
it's just different styles of communication. It's not meant to be cold. It's not meant to be like he doesn't read it. It's not meant to mean that whatever you wrote is not good. It's just Tom isn't going to give you an emoji.
He just takes the knowledge and moves on.
Yeah.
I'll reply to every listener email. Tom Van guarantee from now. I don't get that many. I get one a week. No one emails me. No one emails me about anything.
Why do you always say you're checking emails in the morning?
Some clients. I guess. I mean about like the show related stuff.
Yeah,
anyway,
I understand.
So Surfshark, I did reply, and the guy just asked for our numbers and how much our advertising was.
Not big enough. Later,
I gave it to him and then never heard back. But also most of these companies, I assume they want to advertise through some sort of a CPM model where it's like we'll only pay you per 1,000 download, and we don't do much of that because we honestly make more money from local advertisers than that model, because that model could only give us a small, or less than we normally charge for advertising.
Our advertising is from concentrate, and what I mean by that is in doses, what we do can do more for your company than most, but our sample size is smaller.
Yeah, and
it's more concentrated.
And it's like, okay, so besides from Daniel using some sort of VPN technology, like to scramble his IP address.
This guy said more friends than not on my end, and I have a techie
I don't know because I've never asked. I don't ask people if they use VPNs.
I've got a pretty techie group of people that I don't have a lot of friends. I'm just a weirdo that way. But the people that I know, and you know many of them, none of them, I'm the only one I know.
Yeah.
That's an honest answer. I don't know anybody else that uses VPN. They might do it on the side or whatever, but
again, I don't have that many tech-savvy friends, and I feel like the majority of the world is not on the tech-savvy side or the early adopter side, or like into scrambling their VPN or changing it in some way.
I
you know
agree.
what I'm saying? Most of my friends just like They have regular jobs. They go to work. They're a Harley mechanic. They're like working construction. They're elevator mechanic. They general manager for a wing restaurant. None of them use VPN anything.
This will help you out. I can list some because we usually deal in terms of like either my crazy friends, Andrea friends, Crystal, Tom, Miami, Fernando, Pudge, the Wizard, and Turkey Leg. All 4 of those people, I do not believe use a VPN.
No,
is that accurate?
Yeah.
And that's just 4 right off the top.
Like now, a lot of people do. I just don't know if it would be, advantageous for Surfshark. Like how much business will they get? Now that's another problem. Maybe they don't care about that. We are just always operate like how many actual customers can we bring you? And then I look at our audience and I'm like, is they into this? Like they're into beer. Medical marijuana,
Yeah. Well, here
they need AC work. They need a roof.
What you mean is
flooring, like all that stuff works great. It's like the VPN, the metaverse, all this stuff. I'm like, there is a portion I see.
We'll try.
The guys are into it, are super into it. Like we get the emails, like, "Oh, I'm glad you guys got into Oculus and like VR because
I live my life in there. I'll never change it." And we're okay. You're one of one.
And I love the fact, and they have, and I've seen the numbers. Like we have a virtual reality guy, and he's
in there right now.
Yeah, he has an unbelievable audience that visits his like worlds that he built every day. Like numbers bigger than our listener base, right?
Yeah.
Way bigger. But I don't know. And he was like, he was like, "How do I monetize this?" And I'm like, well, it's uncharted territory, so I don't know. Like, you just have to try.
We're still
see if
figuring
works.
out podcasts, and that's old stuff now.
Yeah. And then, like, most of the people like revert back to old marketing, where it's just like get your brand in front of the most amount of eyes. But those are bigger brands. Like the smaller companies want actual results.
VPN. I'll tell you why I used it. Primarily when I was doing a lot more torrenting. When this company didn't have a pot to piss in, and we were needing certain things, you can, and other people can, get music and software and movies illegally through torrent sites. And the way that you do that is to hide your VPN. I'm just giving you the honest answer, and that's what you would do. And so normally, people that I knew, if you were using a VPN, it was because you were trading music, you were doing something that was considered a little less than savory. I'm just being honest.
Now, here's where I would use it, but I don't think we're there yet, and I don't know if you could do this inside the United States, but I'd use it to be able to use a VPN for, like, let's say in New Jersey, the state or a state that has DraftKings and FanDuel.
I used to do this for the EPL, so I could watch every single game.
Yeah, well, now that works for country to country, but it doesn't work internally.
Uses it for sports and stuff.
Yeah,
you can use it to watch. I think he's right. I don't know if it works for currency link sites. I don't know.
Well, and you can do that's a different country. So obviously you could watch sports in Europe or have a Europe VPN or IP address, and then now you have access to all this new stuff. But I'm saying within the actual state inside the United States, I don't think you can have a Nevada VPN, so I can go on to Caesar's Palace Sportsbook. And now
it's interesting.
They probably wouldn't pay out if I won anything big, but I would just like to have the option to mess around with these different sports books. I'm not looking to bet huge amounts of money. I just want them. I just want access to them.
Right.
So that would be cool. I'd use it for that. But any other, I can't. I know that even Surfshark told me that people use it to watch, to open up different shows and Netflix and things like that because
I used to be really into that. I would have it, and then there were certain, if Andrea wanted to watch The Office BBC edition, we'd VPN in and we'd go into the BBC webpage, and then we'd find what we wanted to watch and watch it. They thinks we're in Stoke-on-Trent or wherever, and we're watching from England.
And the NFL, if you're a Europe IP address, you can get a lot of access to NFL games.
NFL game. I used to VPN into London, Sam, so I could watch every NFL game because they would block you out. But if you live in London, like my buddy Tony that lives in London, he has more access to NFL games than I do.
So that is an advantage that I could see. Like if Surfshark is like, hey, get this, then you can get a VPN Europe address and then watch every NFL game. Like then I think
that's pretty cool.
We can market that to our listeners. Although it seems like the NFL would try to crack down on them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Eventually they may find a workaround where you can't do that because now you're stealing their content that they want to sell to you in an NFL package.
They want you to buy the package.
Yeah, it's just $500 or what, or $100 if you're a college student, or have a college name and address, name and birthday. That's all you need.
Oh, that's so great.
$100. All right, next email.
Navy dive tables.
Yes.
Tell Tom to stop. He keeps bringing up Navy dive tables as an example of a system with a built-in margin of error.
We say it's conservative. That's why we use Navy dive tables.
Nothing can be further from the truth. The Navy dive tables were built by volunteer divers. They pushed the divers to the limit, then they backed off after the divers got bent. The divers were all young, fit males who also happened to be white. Not sure if being white affected the tables, but that's just the facts. The Navy dive tables state that if you are young, fit, and male, and white, you are safe to dive at this depth for this amount of time. They're not meant to say a certain dive is safe for everyone.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I need to know what your qualifications are in saying this, because you sound just like us.
Daniel's, and we've been making jokes because if they say, like, don't go past 100 feet or whatever.
It's usually like 120.
You can get to like 110. It's not like 1 inch past 100 dead.
It's like when your car says, I got 30 miles left. You probably got close to 50 miles left.
Yes, exactly. They build in these buffers.
Like safety nets.
For the general public. They've always done that. That's what we're saying.
If the library says you got 2 weeks for the book, and then you got to turn it in, 16 days, you're fine.
Yeah. And then, I feel like doctors do this the opposite route, where they tell you only have 3 months to live, and then everybody always lives longer.
Yeah, because they want to be a hero.
Yeah. I feel like they do the opposite.
Complex.
So if a doctor tells you 3 months to live, you probably have 8 months.
Yeah. Joke's on the doctor, though. He's like, what do you weigh? And I go, I weigh 120. And he's like, it really weighs 160.
I rarely hear the people die before the doctor, 3 months. He's like, you live 2 weeks?
You never hear that.
It's always like, he made it 5 months. And they're like, oh, it's pretty good.
Even if that happened, I'd make my nurse go in and just change his chart. He's dead now. Change his chart to 2 weeks.
What's next email?
Getting previous owner's mail. At what point?
Open it.
At what point do you stop giving mail to the previous owner of a house? They are good friends with my neighbors, so I would bring it over for the first 2 years.
2 years? No, 6 months. And then I'm reading it. I'm taking the checks out.
It only went that far because I thought after the first year, they would see it as a good deed. And since the wife is a general manager at the local Olive Garden,
there you go.
I would get a thank you gift card.
Ooh.
But now we
How
are
much?
5 years in, and yesterday I got an order of personal checks. A month ago, I got a letter from Darden and an early in the year tax information. Multiple times I wrote on the letter, does not live here, and put it back in the mailbox, but they still keep coming. Is trashing the mail a bad thing?
I wouldn't trash it, but...
Well, trash the garbage. No reason to bring over...
Junk mail.
Yeah, junk mail and stuff that's obvious, magazines.
Hungry Howie's coupons.
Yeah. And most mail is junk mail or advertising and stuff, so you could trash that. But if something in the IRS or a personal letter...
we have a lot of realtors around here, and I just like to speak for myself when I say, stop with the postcards. Just stop it.
It's the only way that they know how to market, except for Bart Merrick, who jumped on with us early. But most realtors have no other way to market, so it's all mailing campaigns and stuff like that.
It's over.
It's great.
The jig is up.
I want to scream about marketing so bad.
I know you do.
We know. You've had marketing mornings. We've been seeing it. Next email.
App stuff. As if you want to scream about anything, let's talk about the app.
Stuff, like butt stuff.
No, like our phone app. Hey, listening to the BDM show, and some dude called in with the app not playing shows to the end. I've had that issue also, where it will just stop mid-show. Here's a super easy fix. If you just hit the back button only once, and then hit whatever show you were on, it will immediately resume playing from where it stopped. Through my experience...
Secret feature we added.
It's a hack. Through my experience, the issue is caused when you download a show and immediately play it through the app. It seems to only have time to download or buffer a portion of the show. So when you start playing it, the app will only play up to that point. Then your phone still finishes the download meanwhile, so when you go back out and hit the show again, it plays the full show. I believe this is due to a slow or spotty internet or data connection. I don't have any issues if I wait a few seconds between downloading and playing. Also, I have no issues when I'm on 5G, only when it's not 5G or on spotty Wi-Fi.
Yeah. You know what? I can back up this guy's...
He has an Android, it seems.
I can back up what he's saying about the consistency being better on the 5G than it can be on spotty Wi-Fi, 100%.
So basically, they're hitting the show and then hitting play, and then the show only had
a little bit of time to buffer the beginning of it. So it gets to a certain point that it's already preloaded, and then it just stops. He's saying if you hit the button, then you hit back, and then immediately hit the show that you were currently listening to, that you're giving it enough time to buffer, hence the reason it'll play all the way through. It makes sense what he's saying. It makes sense.
It's, the app has been a difficult thing for us because we're a small company and we're trying to, with constant updates and new phones and stuff, it constantly gets broke and then we only have there's so much money to put into it. And, some people want to charge $10,000 and some people want to charge free. It's all over. There's no consistency with any of it.
There's really no middle of the road. I mean, you're right on that. You either find the guy that can do, like, God bless him. We've got a couple people that have said to me, hey, in the afternoons I can work on this. At night it'd probably take me 6 years to get it done, but I can do it, and then I'll do it for free. And then I've had some people, like you're saying, hey, that'll be $25,000 and we can get it taken care of in 2 weeks. It's like, well, we don't have that kind of money, so
that is the most frustrating part for me because I don't understand like computer programming or software programming or app building, right? I kind of understand it, but I have no idea. Like when someone's like, I only have the time to work on this for this, and it's going to take me this amount of time. I don't even I imagine that they're on a computer typing, but I don't know what is involved with the work. Is it like code? Is it?
I would assume it's mostly code.
So then
I still don't know what that means. Are they going 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0?
It's not all ones and zeros. But watch Mr. Robot.
They have to look up the code to be able to copy it into. You know what I'm saying, right? That's the problem. Like, when someone says, I'm going to redo
Get Gorilla Blanco in here. I think he knows.
No, I think he knows, too.
Hey, don't know.
I always trust a man with a
fanny pack.
A fanny pack.
Oh, and the mullet?
And the mullet.
So good.
Like,
really good.
If someone's redoing my kitchen, right, I can understand what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Like they're pulling out all the cabinets.
Yes.
They're getting new cabinets and boxes. They're putting together the cabinets. Then they're hanging the cabinets and maybe doing some drywall work. Like, I can kind of run through it in my mind.
I know what a level is. I know how saws work. Hammer, impact drill.
The actual work itself, I comprehend, right? And that's where I don't with the app programming and stuff. Like, because no one ever explains it to me. No one ever says, like, well, I have to look up what code will work on the internet and then copy that code and paste it in your
code and then
singular.
Trial. They put on their headphones.
I have no idea.
They put on their headphones and they go into Code World and they just go to work. And I don't know what they're doing, but they have headphones on. They're listening to the music or whatever.
Yeah.
But they don't
what
know
are they doing?
They don't know it by heart, or do they know it by heart? Each individual code they understand by, or they have to look it up.
I think they have to build some of their own, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. None of us know technology.
They have to write
here.
a program.
That's what's frustrating to me because I don't understand it. Maybe I should learn.
We need to talk to somebody that's in coding.
I don't. It's hard.
I mean, we could get one of these app guys on. Explain to us how you can't help us. That's what we should do.
Yeah. Because I'm like, well, what is it? What is the date? What is the actual work?
You mentioned something that spurred something. I'd like to know what both of you think about this. My wife is teaching herself Spanish using the Duolingo app.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen that app, it's the little hoot owl, and then so she's going through there, and I'm like, well, what languages does it have that you can learn on the Duolingo app? Is it just Spanish? She's like, no, they got all kinds of stuff. So I said, well, show me what they got. So she goes to it, and she's just scrolling through all the stuff, and she's like, I'm going to teach myself Japanese, and I'm like, that's going to be terribly hard. They have also, though, they have nonsense languages on there.
Like pig line?
No, I asked about that when you and I are on the same wavelength lately. No, I asked her what other languages, and as she's going down the list, there were two that stuck out. One is Klingon.
Yes.
And the other, which I was like, I didn't know somebody had made this an actual thing, is from like Game of Thrones, is High Valyrian. You can learn High Valyrian through Duolingo, and I'm like, Well, like really learn it? Like people speak this?
The full language.
Who has that much time to waste their life
On a fake language.
On a fake language,
like
right.
You have. Isn't there other things that I guess if it brings you joy, then
I hate that. I hate that if it brings you joy.
Well, I mean,
how does learning High Valerian with no one to talk to bring
You'll
you
find
joy?
other nerds to talk to.
yeah.
That know High
And
Valerian.
then you're in the metaverse and you're talking in your goddamn fake language.
Wait a minute. Now that is okay. I would have asked you. You answered the question without even knowing it. I would have asked you. How is that usable?
You go to MegaCon, you see another person dressed up as Game of Thrones, you talk to him in the language.
In the metaverse, if you were skinned to look as if you were like, the giant or something from, Game of Thrones, the Hound. So you're the Hound, and you speak High Valerian or whatever, that's useful.
You have your own little nerd community.
And
weird.
Learning a language, I think if you don't interact with someone daily speaking it, it's nearly
damn near impossible
to just learn it and not interact and speak it with our brains the way they work. Like I see it with my sons. Like they don't learn, never even close to learning Spanish.
But if you integrate not only just like talking to somebody, but like watching TV shows that are in that language, listening to music.
You have to immerse yourself into that language, and that's even more than just learning it. It's like then you have to interact with someone else who's like speaking Spanish or watch a Spanish show. Some of my friends that came over here from South America when they were young, like they just were forced to learn it, and they learned it fast, like English, just by watching English TV shows.
Yeah.
Tony Rage.
My buddy Enrique learned English through the TV show Martin.
I love it.
That's how he learned English.
Show.
That's a good show to learn from.
And being forced because he had to communicate in the United States when he came from Brazil. So he watched Martin and then just lived his life, and then you learn it fast, because you're forced to do it. But without that, it's super hard.
Yeah,
just studying it and then practicing it yourself without interacting with people, or I've never even heard anybody doing that.
I don't think it's possible unless you're actually using it with other people. We got to take a break.
Bye-bye.
But anyway, no new stuff. No new stuff.
I'm finding some new stuff.
Are you?
Yeah, like a lot of these on the train. That's a new one, on the
What?
train. And now the new one.
But the train
Oh, you're talking about porno. You're talking about porno.
I'm talking about porno.
Your
When are
significant
now?
other.
The packed train one is a little slippy too.
It is a little slippy.
Because that one is well, does she want this?
Yeah.
No, that's
she's
not what I'm talking about.
telling no.
These are on a train, just in a cabin on a train. It's not like the people on the train.
Oh, yeah.
And that one, and then the newest one that I'm not really into, and I think it's because of this fact, there's a disconnect, is the new thing are couples that will film, and they look amazing, like amazing bodies, both of them, man and woman, but they will not show their faces at all.
Yeah.
It's always shot from chin down, everything.
Yeah.
And you never see their faces, so they keep a level of anonymity.
Yeah.
And there is a disconnect with me. If I can't see your face, then I don't want to see your video.
That's like a boob without a nipple. It's like a boob without boob without a nipple is nothing.
Yeah,
I would take a boob without a nipple.
No, but you're not
but I
right.
see what you're
It's
saying.
smooth.
You're always, once they have it right here and everything, you go, come on, I just want to see that nipple.
Oh my God!
I'm kind of a boob guy. I might have to run to your restroom real quick.
Stop! Put your banana jacket in your mouth and stop talking.
Yes. See, because I love boobs. Boobs are my favorite part. So when they're starting off in the porno and they get the top off and they're doing the boobs, I'm going, yeah. And then all of a sudden, I go, no, don't start having sex. I just want to see the boobs. I don't want to see the sex.
Oh, you're a softcore man.
Yeah.
All right.
Super soft.
Let's change topics.
I used to work out there.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Sir.
Let's talk about the way you shop currently. Seriously.
Oh, man. Boy, I'm glad I didn't bring that list. Okay.
I thought that was on the list.
What a transition
It
here.
says shopping habits
Shopping
right here on the
list.
Yeah.
Shopping list.
I made my own list.
Yeah, apparently.
What?
But-
Number 5.
Because I feel like as malls and stores close down and everything becomes internet based,
Brick and mortar,
it does.
and everybody shops through Amazon and everybody's ordering clothes. So you have to transition because the stores that you went to, even though you didn't go and buy clothes that often, but you still have to eventually.
Look at these new jeans.
I saw the new
You see
jeans.
these
That's
jeans?
what made
Those
me
are
ask.
dungaree.
Wow,
Yeah, I
those
know.
are dark wash.
So,
Yeah,
so where
Why
do
are you going
go?
dark? You got farmer jeans.
I like them. I like them.
Here's the deal. I bought these.
Those are, and they're stiff as hell.
I know.
Those jeans, I swear
Did
to
you
God,
see me walk in here? I couldn't bend my
They
knees.
literally belong to a train conductor.
I
Look
know.
how they're brand new. Thick. Those
They'll last a while.
They're kind of cutting me in the back.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like old,
But-
like Hager slacks on our president.
Here's what happened. What do y'all know about of everything that you know about me? What do you know about me the most?
Huge ding dong.
Okay, so that's huge ding dong.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Cheap.
Don't like to
Big
spend
ding
money.
dong.
So I was buying faded jeans for 30 or 40 years because I like the look. I like the look of faded jeans.
Worn in.
But Amazon will sometimes send you the wrong jeans. And so I ordered Levi's from Amazon.
Send him the raw denim.
Yeah, and they sent me, these are the stiff ones that you get when you're a kid, when your mom and dad buy you jeans.
Yeah.
And they last a million times longer, which saves that money.
Okay, all right.
And
Yeah, but it's like wearing sandpaper.
I know. And yeah, well, it's about the only action I get nowadays. Yeah.
All right.
And so you get them off Amazon, and so you get your clothes. Is it just like
Amazon
I get
basics.
everything but food. Everything but food. And I hate that I do that because I'm part of the problem because he will be one of the big corporations of the Orwellian future.
Already is.
Amazon.
Yeah. It's already there.
So I hate giving him money, but the way I combat it is I order like little small things, that only cost like a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
And it costs him like $3 to ship it.
Give it to the man.
I like that. That's like something Tom would do.
He's wall-eyed too, isn't he? Bezos.
What does
I think he's
wall-eyed mean?
I think that means one eye's going this way
One's
and one
looking
eye's
at the
going
wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looking at the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have a weird.
Well, you think unlimited money could fix that?
Fix your
right?
eyeball. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Like for instance,
hair on your head.
And I don't want to get on the political side of it, but with as much money as Trump,
Oh, here we
claimed
go.
he had
We got an
and everything.
EC3 over here.
Yeah. Why not get either a great hair piece or a club for men, or do the thing. Apparently, he has enough hair to pull out in the back to put up front.
Oh, and he can get cadaver hair or
Yeah.
like whatever,
Do they do that now?
Oh,
Cadaver hair? Yeah.
I'm sure.
Oh, I might look into that.
He could buy the hair from
hair of a dead
human that
man.
matches his.
Would
Yeah,
you
that's
wear-
what hair club for men.
Would you wear a dead man's hair?
But no, I would have them implant.
You had a system.
I had a system. Yeah, it was
Tom
called.
didn't
Look at
believe
this.
me. I told you he had a
I was
system.
hair club for men.
Yeah.
It's on the Blues Dumps CD. It actually looked good.
It did look good.
But you
I
gotta
looked
glue
like
it to your head every morning.
No,
You-
No, not every morning. No.
It was snaps.
No,
right?
no, it wasn't even snaps.
Didn't
no,
you have a snap piece?
No. That was a lower budget thing. I went high dollar on this. What they do is they shave your head in a Ben Franklin. Okay.
I want that.
Okay, they shave your head in a Ben Franklin. Then they find human hair that's just like yours, and they weave it into a mesh. So it's a big. It's a big
bird's
animal.
nest.
Yeah, it's just a big, and it has a little half-inch strip around the whole thing, and they put God's most adhesive super glue to it, and they glue it to your head.
I want that.
And that thing is not coming off for a month. It's not coming off for a month. And the reason I got rid of it was two things. One, it was so hot in Florida, it would just burn up, on the inside. You just, and the second
pocket
thing is,
full of water underneath there.
it was in my crazy days when I was drinking and playing and,
Oh, yeah.
who knows. So I'd get in fights every now and then. And all I could think of was, man, what happens if I get in a fight and some guy comes up with a
Rips
bloody
your wig off?
beaver pelt in his hand? Yeah.
punch your wig off.
Yeah.
That is the most disrespectful thing you can
Yeah.
do to a man who wears
God,
a
so you
hair
get-
system is to rip it off and hold his bloody hair.
Yeah. So you win the
Stuff
fight.
it in his mouth. That's what you do.
Yeah. So I got rid of it. And one time it was so hot.
Do you still have it? Is it in your
No, I
order?
did have it. And the guy before you were on the Monsters, the guy, the president.
I was
of
never on the monster. Don't ever.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's a joke. Come
Sorry
on.
about
It's a
that.
joke.
But the guy, the Hair Club for Men president, came in, and it was after
the way you look.
Yeah, it's after I had already taken mine off and used it in my show, a bunch. So it was just covered with grease and beer and everything. So Russ said, wear it and bring it. And so I came in, and he goes, yeah, one of our guys is a client. And I came in with just this
Oh, my
old
God.
matted little
That's
piece
hilarious.
of auburn hair on my head. Yeah.
What'd you spend for it? Couple thousand?
No, about 2,500. Yeah.
Yeah. That's expensive.
Do you have to go back every month and then they
6
re-glue
weeks.
it?
6 weeks. What happens is the oil in your skin eats the glue up, so it'll start coming off after about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So you go back.
First week is convertibles only, and then everything else you got to be a little.
And you go back and they trim your hair, to match that hair. And then, but what happened was it was August, and I brought it back, and they pulled it off, and that air conditioning hit the top of my head, and I went, leave it off. I don't want it.
I wonder if you could grow like some fungus or something underneath there. With the humidity in Florida, you would think that could almost be like a problem.
It's porous, so I guess it wash.
Have you seen the thing that they're doing where people are tattooing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of Latin. It's very popular, like with Latin friends of mine, in like guys that like permanent, like really good edged out hair.
The dots.
And if you have naturally you have dark hair, you can get the dot tattoos, and it looks really good.
Yeah,
it's like a 5 o'clock shadow, right?
Yeah.
Like permanently on your head.
Yeah.
You should get the Latin dots.
Yeah. Well, my hair's blonde anyway.
But
you can't
get
see the damn. Yeah.
That would be.
I'll do it.
The white dots.
Do you shave your head now?
No, I don't call it shaving. I use a beard trimmer.
Okay.
And I take the adapter off, and I just,
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I wonder, can you get it removed so you never have to do that anymore?
That's what I would want to do.
Like laser, could you laser your hair on your head? Like Ideal Image or something like that?
Yeah.
Would that work?
I'm sure it would.
Because I'd get tired of shaving my head every morning or whatever. It's a pain in the ass. Like, just laser it off.
Yeah. Well, the trimmers are great because it can grow out a little bit. I won't have to do it but once a week. And once you got it this short, you can just, every morning you just go, and it's nothing. Just kind of maintenance, but it's fun.
I've always I sometimes you see a guy that's like, especially if he's like buff, if he's bald, and you're like, oh yeah, that's the way you're supposed to look. Good.
Yeah.
Like
I was never buff. I did it one time when I was real skinny, and I went to my first gig, because and people go, no, don't.
The hat's just easier.
The hat's way easier.
Yeah. Let's talk hoarding because
I see that's on your list.
Yeah.
So when you're a hoarder, this is what I don't understand: is that when you go to a hoarder and then you pick up the box of garbage,
well, you have
that's
a
on the
little
top
bit of this.
stack.
I don't want to pile on, but you have a little bit of this within your.
That garage.
Yeah, your garage is very hoarder light.
But I feel like if anybody picked up anything in my garage and said, "Can I throw this away?" I would say, "Please, break me from the shackles of this mess." I'm just too lazy to do it myself.
Me too.
And then my wife, she's the one that's emotionally attached.
She holds
to
on to memory.
Yeah. So if I throw away anything, then she's gonna be like, "Where's my frames?"
Yeah.
And then
I've been saving those. Those are my precious keepsake frames.
And so I just I give up. I'm like the husband in hoarder. So now I'm just sitting on top of a pile of garbage.
They never say anything. They're always like, you got to work this out with mama.
Yeah.
You're going to have to work this out with mama.
I'm just the husband that gives up, right? I'm contributing to it. I'm also an enabler naturally.
I never thought of buying her more of these keepsake frames that I was ever doing anything wrong.
I'll cook you a 12-egg breakfast if you fuse yourself to the couch.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, I just want to make you happy. Anyway, but what is it when you ask the hoarder, like, here is a box of garbage, and everybody in the world knows it's garbage, and you, I think, in your heart know it's garbage. Why can't you throw it away?
I really think that, especially when you get to be my age, you just live off of memories.
Oh, okay.
Life's over.
So it's like the Notebook.
It's like over.
Hold on, that actually that makes a lot of sense.
You live, and I have a briefcase that I bought in Mexico from Clutch. And it's all my Clutch. I even have a notebook in there where I wrote my first song. Yeah.
But do you look at it?
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
Do you look at it at all?
It's cursive, too.
Because it's like my wife's with the wedding photos and the video.
Well,
and
hold
all
on a second.
Yeah.
Wedding photos and video should be kept. I don't put that in the hoarding category. You were talking about a box of junk.
She's
like your wife. Okay,
but even any of it.
No, hold on.
Like, we never even looked at this.
No, I got to help your wife out here because wedding photos and a video of your wedding is completely different than the French witch.
No, you're right.
One is a papier-mâché haunted lady in a chair that is trash. The other are memories that your sons and daughter, anybody else, your family, you, her, can look at, and it is your wedding day. Way different, dude.
But it's on the spectrum of stuff you never, ever look at or even go through.
Like, I'll never look at this briefcase.
And then you're just, you're just holding on to it because it is memories. But just like, what good is it if you never look at it?
Yeah, actually, now that I think, every time I open up the briefcase, I get horribly depressed. Just, oh my God.
Why do I have this?
Stupid song I wrote. I wrote one for my sister.
Song.
First song I ever wrote.
Okay.
And I totally ripped off Nitty Gritty Dirt Band on a B-side.
We just mentioned them yesterday.
Did you really?
My mom and dad took me to see Nitty Gritty Dirt Band at the Strawberry Festival.
Oh, man, see, that's the kind of thing you bring your kid to. You bring
that's
your kid
what
to
we
Nitty Gritty.
That was my first concert.
Hello. That's what we were talking about. My first concert was Loretta Lynn and the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band at the effing Strawberry Festival.
That's awesome. How much cursing?
None. And Lee Greenwood.
Yeah.
And he sang Proud to be an American, which kind of shaped my ideology to this day.
Yeah. So anyway, so I wrote a song for my sister, and it was a terrible, terrible song. The melody was good because I stole it from Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, but it was so sentimental that, like, Barry Manilow would listen to it and go,
it's kind of gross. Gross.
It was over the top with flowers and trees. I was just doing any cliche. Anyway, I couldn't. I really couldn't sing. I mean, worse than this. And I had a high nasal voice.
But okay.
I couldn't sing in tune. My mom made me sing it for my Aunt Colleen, and she listened to the whole, and she was real brash and real harsh, to people.
Yeah.
Melted her. She sat there and did like this, and when I finished the song, it said, "And the flowers in your hair," like that.
Yeah.
And she looked at my mom. She goes, "Mary Jane," said, "Yeah. None of your children can sing worth an S."
There it is.
I swear to God, true story. True story. And that was a true story. It wasn't on the list. And I thought of it because of the topic.
I think Colleen I met one time only.
Yeah.
Didn't she make a
she came in on the show.
I remember that. She was very nice, and man, she ripped me a new one, but then gave me like sweet hugs.
Yeah.
She was like a...
you didn't get to meet her, but she was something. You got to find out about this.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, you did a good job today.
I like you.
I feel awkward without my list.
No,
I feel naked.
You're better without the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next time, bring a box from your hoarding collection.
I will.
I'll bring
the briefcase. I'll bring the briefcase. Y'all open it up and ask me about it.
And we'll go through it.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So, where are you going to be at, Jeff?
I will be at House of Blues on Thursday. Friday night, Saturday night, I will be doing Linda Bird's retirement party.
There you go.
At the Crimson House.
We weren't invited. Weird.
Well, she doesn't like him.
No, and me by association.
Yeah, and
bring me up.
She loves that.
And report back.
I will. I will.
Michael tells me.
And then Sunday, if you're not invited to that party, I'll be at Tibby's New Orleans Kitchen in Altamont Springs from 11 to 2 for their Sunday brunch.
There you go.
Perfect. Well, Jeff, thanks so much for coming by.
Had a great time, guys.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow with another Corporate Time.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
Let's do some voicemail email.
All right. If you'd like to leave us an email, super easy. Write this address down. Or just remember it, show@tomanddan.com. If you'd like to leave us a voicemail, it's even easier. There's multiple places to do it. You can call the number 1-844-TOMNDAN. That's 1-844-TOM, the letter N, Dan. You can leave me a message there. Or you can use our app where all of our content is. We're trying to work on that a little bit, try to put some money into it. We'll see. We're trying. But for right now, it's working, and you can leave us a message, kind of like this one right here.
Hey, guys, it's Sam. I'm listening to you talk about the neighbor feuds. I currently have one going on. I live in an HOA neighborhood, and right across the street is this old, bitchy old man. He's not on the HOA, but it's just this old guy who just complains about everything.
I have to pause him for a second. I don't think I've ever heard anybody describe an old man as being, quote, bitchy. That's normally reserved for ladies, and I like the fact I like the fact that he's branching out a little bit, because I guess guys can be just as bitchy as girls or more.
Otherwise, our HOA's not really that bad. But anyways, a few weeks ago, we had a birthday party for my daughter. It was a backyard party with a bounce slide, all that stuff. There was a lot of people. They were parked in my driveway, my neighbor's driveway too, but we asked her, and then they were parked along the street like people would normally park. So he lives across the street, and there was a car directly behind his driveway, parked on the side of the road, and I walked around front to see him having trouble backing out. But he could have backed out, and instead of going out to the right, he could have easily backed out and gone left, because the neighborhood is just one big circle. So he sees me, he gets out, and he starts bitching about all the cars. I literally just looked at him and told him to off and go back into his house. I mean, this was a Saturday at noon. We were celebrating my daughter's 10th birthday. Everybody was parked normal.
Tensions are high. I'm not sure I would have done that. I mean, you can handle it without an F off.
Yeah, let's talk about this for a second, because I feel
even I'm not in that court. You know I'm reactionary. You know I have a temper, but I'm not going to instantly start with the F off, get back in your house or any. I'm not going to do that.
I learned this when I was the worst at life, and I kept overdrafting my Wachovia account. And I'd get like $300 in overdraft charges.
That's a lot.
Buying cigarettes or whatever.
Cigarettes are important.
And in college, right?
Especially if you're addicted. Yeah, I got it.
So I constantly had to call Wachovia's 1-800 number and then ask the lady if they could take off I could pay one, but I couldn't afford $300 worth.
So sob story.
Yeah, sob story. And I realized that if I went to them hat in hand and with the energy of apologetic and could you help me out?
Like a farmer from the farm, you rode into town, you take your hat off, you go into the bank, and you're going to ask for a loan.
I get more than if I went at them angry that they charged me this much.
It's the old, because catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
Then they would instantly feel angry and then want to not give it to me instead of like feel compassionate and be like, all right, I'll, you know what I'm saying? Like, and
I have a new technique. I'm overly nice in the very beginning, like even with like, hey, thanks so much for your time. I know this is a hard job, and I really appreciate what you're doing. I give them the straight up. I give them the love fest right off the bat.
I mean, it's
to let them know that I am not gonna go at them.
And you're doing that for you.
Yes, yes, it's a selfish move. You're right. You're right.
So it's a selfish move, and it could
you're trying to set the tone.
Yeah,
I am at least,
and it's better for the other person, obviously, because you come at someone with an aggression like this guy. Yes, the bitchy old man that's complaining about cars for your daughter's birthday party is a bitchy old man that come on, why are you doing that? You could let your neighbor have a birthday party. Who cares?
I also address things that other people don't address because they think it's going to be uncomfortable. Like, I would straight up say to that old man, oh man, I'm sorry, you really mad about all these cars? I am I'm
just doing my daughter's birthday party.
They'll be out of here by 6. I usually address it.
Now, I know the reality is, screw that guy. He's being a D-head for no reason, so he deserves you to say F you. But the problem is, that's worse for you. You see what I'm saying? Like, do what's best for yourself and come at the guy with niceties and politeness, and that could help you, because by you saying F you, old man, and now you have this awkward tension with his neighbor. And
sounds like it was already there, though.
But it's going to get worse. And
you don't want to make it, you don't want to escalate it.
And then soon you're going to be shooting each other on the streets or whatever. Like, things get that, like, there's lots of examples of that. But even if it doesn't get that far, you're going to now constantly have the headache of this guy calling the cops on you or reporting you to the HOA every time you have like a tiny brown spot on your,
brown spot
on your grass.
Oh yeah, I know those guys.
You have created a more of a headache for yourself, and that's what I don't understand. Is like, why are you hurting your own best interests? Because your emotions are getting in the way, and you want to tell this old man F you, because it makes you feel good at that moment, but you're actually hurting your own motives long term.
I'm putting myself in this guy's shoes, and there's a part of me that really, and I've had to work really hard to get over this, and I've talked to you about this before. There's a part of me that doesn't like it when I think somebody's getting one over on me or cheating me or taking advantage of, you know what I mean? Like, there's a part of me that says, oh, take advantage of me, I'll take advantage of you. Like, and it's just, sometimes it's not even worth that. It's not even worth the altercation at all, because all you're doing really is wasting time that you could have been at the party.
And if it's a stranger, I totally support the FU. If it's a stranger, if it's someone you don't have to deal with for again or whatever.
I mean, I would support it also if you're not going to get hurt. I mean, it's not a good idea to just start telling random people to F you if you think that it could necessarily hurt you or your family or make the situation bad.
I'm not even worried about that as much as I am. It's just creating a long-term pain in the ass because now you're going to have to deal with this guy. I mean, he's your neighbor. You can't get away from him. Like a stranger, go ahead and tell him to F you, or someone you're never going to see again. Who cares? If it makes you feel better, I actually encourage that. I would feel better sometimes if I told more people to F off, and I wish I did, but I'm too awkward to do it.
The ladies are coming up. The ladies in the chat room, Sam, my wife, other people are mentioning that he did tip us off in the beginning of the call. If we were doing like one of these, like, you be the lawyer things, that he gave one neighbor a heads up, but not this guy. And if you didn't give the guy a heads up, then
you already know he has issues.
Right.
Like, yeah.
It's kind of a little bit on you that, like, see, that's why you don't fit in this narrative, because you would have gone to the guy and said, you definitely would have given the guy a heads up.
I'm not good with heads ups.
That's true. He's not.
Yeah. But if the guy complained,
he's always he forgot.
I would give him a heads up. Even if it were awkward.
Because you know there's going to be an issue.
Yeah,
so you might as well just like let him know beforehand so it doesn't get to this.
And you hit it head on. Like, if I were there, I would say this. And you guys know me well enough to know that I would make it uncomfortable. I'd be like, hey, I know you've had other problems with things that we've done here. And I know you don't like it, but we're having a party. And I just wanted to let you
extra
know
cars.
So you don't get mad, because I don't want to make you mad. I want to make this as easy as for you as humanly possible. That may have solved it, but...
Yeah, a lot of times it would. It's funny because
or invite him to the party.
When I saw a BDM post on our BDM page, which you can be in if you're a BDM, by the way.
Right.
But the post was about his neighbor basically submitted like a formal lawsuit to someone based on the property line and his fence and stuff.
Sure.
But he never even told him. Or and then he saw him like doing yard work, and even the neighbor that was suing the guy like waved at him or whatever. And then the BDM was like, "Why didn't this guy ever tell me? Like, why didn't he come?
It didn't have to go to the lawsuit. Like, we could have just handled this."
And and it's like, why did he go? Like,
because a lot of people are like you, and they just want to avoid it.
Yeah, but I would never have done. I would have never taken the step because ultimately it's going to be an awkward situation of down the road.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to avoid all awkward situations. I would have never even been.
No, I understand.
But before I got to the lawsuit, I would be telling my neighbor, like, "Hey, can we move your?" Like, I'd offer to move.
So this guy's worse on the spectrum. There are some people that don't...
This is not on the spectrum. This is... Well, maybe it is.
There are some people that just don't want to interact, and I'll just handle it all through paperwork and emails and attorneys.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's an insanity.
Because Gilbert Gottfried level cheap, yes.
Because at a certain point, it's going to be ultimate confrontation when you're sitting in the small claims court.
But you're not looking at each other. It's like Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, although you're not even looking. Don't look at him.
Just send my lawyer.
Yeah.
I'll just send Mo, and I won't even go.
Then you start dressing like each other.
But you have to walk in the courtroom like you're seeing the person.
I know.
I can't do that where I'm going to look ahead, never look, don't look over there.
It's
like,
crazy.
You're in the courtroom, you're dressed in a suit. Anyway.
Sunglasses on.
Yeah.
We have one that we had a lot of fence emails and voicemails, so I had to dig through some of those. Here's BDM Neil on the idea.
Hey, BDM Neil here. You guys are absolutely wrong. Depends on the homeowner association of the neighborhood, but my mom literally made a lady that was building a fence, made it 2 inches off of her fence. She said, "Nah, I don't want you to use my fence. You're going to need to build your own." Doesn't matter what was there before. They had to get a new fence, had to do it all. So depends on the homeowner association. But yeah, dude, you can make that dude build a fence 2 inches off of your fence. Or just say, "Hey, I'm going to knock down this back, and guess what? We're going to have a nice big old backyard." And there you go. Because, no, you ain't using my fence, and I don't care if it's an unpopular, whatever the hell, popular answer, whatever.
Hold on.
I don't think you can just start knocking people's fences down.
Well, also, you can't make something, like if you build a fence and in between your yard and your neighbor's yard, right?
Correct.
And so let's say there was no fence there or like a chain link fence, I don't know, something. But once you build a fence, you can't then tell your neighbor, like, you can't use my fence that I built because technically it's now your fence. You got to build your own fence. I don't think that's right.
I don't think that's right either.
Because
I mean, a person could build their own back fence if they wanted, but you can't force somebody
yeah,
to.
I think what Neil's saying is you're not allowed to, well, at least in his example, and again, he did preface by saying it depends on the homeowners association, but he's saying that he could say, no, you're not using my fence, which I don't know if you can do that.
What do you mean? But I'm like, I'm
What
not.
do you mean? I'm not using anything. I'm passive.
Well,
I'm just sitting here.
I think what they're saying is if you built a fence, you'd have
If you
to build
built-
the two sides and another new back. You couldn't just use the back and connect your two sides to the back.
I don't know that that's accurate.
I don't think it is accurate. Neil, I love you, buddy, but I don't think
Maybe
that,
on his, but it was,
I don't think that's right.
that seems unfair. If the
how are
the
they gonna
neighbor
know
that
what
you're
it-
sitting here is like, I didn't do anything. Like he's
Yeah.
the one that built the fence. Like,
Well, then, based on what he's saying, I could just say, yeah, okay, then I'll just build the two sides, and I just won't ever look over there. I won't use your back
What
fence.
the hell?
Because how do you even determine whether or not I'm using the back fence or not?
Right.
you know what? I saw BDMs talk about this too because we had the whole fence talk.
Man, you bring up a fence, and
Fence
some dads
talk.
will get
Yo,
spicy.
Dads know a lot
Oh,
about
they
fencing.
love fencing.
Yeah.
Man, dads and fences.
But they brought up the point, which I never even occurred to me, that it's not only like the pretty side and the ugly side. It's a security thing because you want to face the flat side,
so you can't climb it.
so you can't climb
Yeah,
it.
or you can peek in the window and see my wife washing her dirty bras.
But I never think of my flimsy wooden fence as somehow
Protection. Yeah.
security from
Yeah.
keeping humans.
I could
Like-
totally jump my white vinyl fence
Yeah,
without
yeah.
any.
Man, you got white vinyl?
Yeah.
What, she's fancier than you, man.
Yeah, you don't
got
need
that
the steps.
wood. She got vinyl.
Like I'm like I didn't think like this is keeping murderers out.
Right,
you know what
right.
I
I
mean?
mean, it's one more step, right? It's one more step.
I mean, you could kind of push it down.
It'll slow them down because I'm thinking the fence, and then you got a door, and then you got a garage door, and then you got my bedroom door. Well, maybe if you get to that garage door, you get bored and you got to leave.
Like I never think about keeping humans out of my backyard. Like
You
I
only want them in. That's why you have all the signs that says free pool.
I
Pooler.
just never think that there's ever going to be a problem, or like there's some wanderers that will end up in your backyard.
When's
Like,
the last time you climbed a fence? I think I did in the last year. It might have been yours for like to peek over or something like that. I don't know, but I did it, and it's way different than when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I could
yeah.
fly over the fence.
Yeah.
When I do it now, it's slow and everything's heavy.
Yeah. And also, it's like you gotta hype yourself up to climb a fence. It's got to be in the morning.
Yeah.
Like it can't be.
I'm a morning fence climber too. I'm not an afternoon fence
It can't
guy.
be.
Can't be in the heat.
6:30, and I've taken my back
And I need
medication.
jeans. I need jeans because if I have on tiny shorts,
Yeah.
there's not enough cloth, and when I straddle it at the top, it gets me in the gooch.
I already had a few. It makes me weak. I gotta be morning spry.
My arms get noodly after a couple of White Claws. I get noodle arms. You got an email over there?
You also can't build a fence as high as you want it, which seems unfair too. Like even in neighborhoods where there's no HOA, like I can't.
I want a Squid Game tall.
Like I can't build a 15-foot tall fence.
I think
it's weird.
6 or 8 is the tallest.
Yeah,
I think it's.
You may be able to
I
do
want to say
10.
it's 6.
I think
you
in
can do 10.
In my parents'
Not in the
neighborhood.
front.
Yeah. No,
on the sides and the back, it could be taller, but not in the front.
in my parents' neighborhood, Sam is exactly correct. It was 6 foot because remember my dad.
They made my aunt cut hers in half.
Well, my dad, he parked his RV on
remember
the
the height
side,
of the-
and it was 6 foot, and you could see a little bit of the RV, and then they made him. They were going to make him move it, and he's like, "No, I'll just cover it." So he just took other fence and nailed it to him. He nailed the.
I like your old man.
Well, he liked you. He loved you. You guys could live together. I mean, like that would have been. You want a reality show? My dad and Tom living. Oh, that would have been hilarious. But my dad just nailed like boards to it just to cover the part that had the RV in it, and everything else was 6 foot. It was real trashy.
You know what I'm always jealous of? The people that grow gigantic privacy bushes.
Like bamboo.
Like my wife.
Not bamboo. Bamboo is cheating because bamboo is so fast growing. And
Apparently, you guys
it's
missed that.
trashy.
Like my wife.
What do you mean?
Privacy bush. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Dad joke. Dad joke.
It was on brand. I'm not going to let that slide.
It's just when you have and they sculpt it to a square, so it's a big.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like that.
Yeah.
I'm like that is
Like
awesome.
a topiary.
Yeah.
Like they have at Disney where they make one. It looks like Moana's
Yeah, but
grandma.
it's just a wall of
It's
bush.
a wall
yeah.
of. But
My wife.
my father-in-law
Bye-bye.
he installed some. This was like 10 years ago, and now it is
security bush.
It is a 15-foot wall of sculpted bush.
That's impressive.
And then every time I'm down in Miami, I look at it, I'm like, this is a nice bush.
This is a goddamn good sculpted bush right here.
It's thick. You can't even see your neighbors, and it's 15 foot tall, and it does.
It's awesome. It protects you. No robbers getting through that. It's too tangly.
No, you could jump through it.
No, it'd be hard. You'd get a lot of brambles in your chest hairs.
It does nothing for security, but
I think it does.
It just
privacy, maybe.
It walls your.
And then think about
like I don't want to see my neighbor's roofs.
You could hang Christmas lights on it. You could hang Christmas lights on it.
Like I'm trying to manipulate my landscape in the back to become.
I've noticed that
a giant wall.
I've noticed that you're making your own
tropical oasis.
Yes,
trying to make his house like
too
M.
slow.
Night Shyamalan's The Village, so his boys don't know what the outside world looks like.
But it's too slow growing. Like it's
you got to get some bamboo back there, dude.
That's trashy.
2 weeks.
Is it trashy?
Yeah. It's trashy. We had bamboo growing up, and we were trashy.
We
had a redwood house, and on the side, my dad had his precious bamboo.
Yeah, because it drops
and a chain link fence too.
Like it drops a ton of stuff. Like it also dies.
It kills everything else around it too.
It dies off and then ends up hanging down. Like it's seemingly fancy. I thought it was fancy.
It's only fancy when you're a Florida swinger and you stand out by a nude with a boner.
It apparently it's horrible because it just grows so fast and out of control.
It's what
and
you put around your hot tub so people can't.
But you're
peep on your old
complaining
lady.
about plants growing too slow. This grows fast. Come on.
Too fast. I need
something in the middle.
Yeah. And it needs to be green and bushy. Bamboo is tall and woody. It needs to be a thick green wall. Anyway, sorry. Email.
The thick green. Build that. Okay.
Oh, we got to get out of here.
Oh, bye-bye. Welcome back to a corporate time. We've got a guest in studio.
Yeah, we do. This is really, really cool. And I don't even know how this came to. I'll look over at Sam. Like, how did we even get this to come to fruition?
Publicist is BDM.
You know what? A lot of people don't understand that we have listeners that are like super
they have
professional.
Connections. Yeah.
We also have I
like how our listeners are helping us run our business.
Yeah.
We need their help.
We'll give you interviews.
Yeah,
so
like,
thank you.
We'll make it look legitimate. We're not all addicts. You know, contrary to what I think a lot of people think. But yeah, we have a big time chef in the house. It's Chef Richard Blaze is in the house. How you doing?
What
man?
is up? What's going on, everyone? I have no idea why I'm here either. Like I just showed up.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning. I played golf. Someone threw me in a car, and now I'm here.
Yeah. How was your round? How was golf?
The golf, it was not been a great week for me, but I've been traveling. I have like lots of excuses and like rented clubs and stuff like that. But
it's hot, man. It's hot outside.
I just walked to get an energy drink because I'm a pillar of health, and this is all I consume, or like copious amounts of caffeine. But it's disgustingly hot outside.
You know, I get out early, and it's not too bad. But I did. You know what? When I knew it was really hot because I live in California, but I'm here at the restaurant often. I took a meeting outside the other day. And I came back 30 minutes later, just drenched. And I was like, that was the most aggressive meeting I've ever had. I've lost 300 calories in this meeting.
Yeah,
well,
just
because,
sitting there.
You know, in California, you're not going to... it's not a swamp like it is
It's
here.
dry. It's dry.
It is.
You're meeting in a swamp. You're like, God, it's swampy.
Well, he's got a Gator's hat on.
Yeah, I got my wife's a Gator, so I'm
all
representing.
right.
So there it
Very
is. So it's
cool.
legit. It's not just like I like the letter F and white. I mean, I do,
Right.
but yeah, legitimate. I'm a Gator. I know that goes like either
was
people
almost
love
like
me
a
now or can't
Gordon
stand.
Ramsay shout out if you like the letter F.
It was.
Yeah.
What does he mean by that?
On
What does he
brand.
mean that? Oh, yeah, he does like the letter F.
On brand. Yeah, it's a show called The F Word, for Christ's
Right. Well,
sake.
you know,
I
I'm
think
co-hosting a show with
Yes, you
Gordon,
are.
so thank you for the segue there.
Yeah.
Next Level Chef on Fox, another word that starts
Another
with
F word, sure.
which I know this is a long lead, but season 2 premieres post Super Bowl this year, directly
Wow.
after the Super Bowl.
That's a good spot.
How the hell did you get
spot.
that? That's awesome.
It's in Gordon Ramsay and Fox. The Super Bowl's on Fox this year. That's how you get those things.
Well, Richard is here. He's a chef. You might remember the chat room's like, why do I know this guy? Top Chef, right?
Yeah, well, usually the chat room's open, and are we on? Yes.
Yeah, you're live.
But usually what happens, this happened actually this morning in the lobby of the hotel. People are like, oh, man, dude, I love your work on Modern Family. You're
I can see a little similarity.
so it's like,
You're really good at acting.
and I learned
good at acting.
I learned early in my career that like people would come up to me like, oh, I know you from somewhere, and I'd be like, oh yeah, probably like Food Network or Top Chef, and they're like, no, didn't I play intramural softball with you in college? And I was so offended that people think I would play intramural softball.
So, I mean,
A little
you've been
Jim
on
Brewer.
so many shows.
We got a Jim Brewer.
Jim Brewer, definitely. Jim
Yeah.
Brewer happens a lot. Should I take my hat off? I don't do goat boy.
Yeah.
Though, so like no one
Goat
can
thing.
do.
What?
Hold on,
Well,
gotta-
we're going to
gotta-
talk about your hair because
Yeah.
Tom usually
There
has
it
the
is.
I
best
was gonna
pompadour
talk about
in
your
town.
pompadour.
Yeah, I've been again. It's humidity. I've been playing golf. I'm looking
it
to my
deflated
team.
the
It's all
pump.
right.
Look at
Yeah,
his
yeah,
pump
yeah.
compared to your pump.
I know.
That's a
Or
long pump.
Or you've got the master pump. That's good.
My God,
COVID.
that's a pump.
It's a COVID, thing that happened, and now it's become like polarizing. So like I can't really do anything about it because
People
love it or hate it.
People give you S about your pompadour.
Oh my gosh! So I will send you that. You're probably getting some right now. Like I get a lot of,
No, they
dude,
like
you're
it.
too old to have a haircut like that. It's
No,
like,
I have Master Pump. OS, it's Macklemore. We got
Oh, Macklemore! I get it. Okay, so
Yellow.
Macklemore's another one. I did a music festival,
Yeah.
and a young lady came up to me in tears. It was like, "Oh my God, can you sign this?
Oh my God, please
Can you
pop some
sign
tags
this?"
with me.
And I
Please
was
pop
like,
some
"Oh my
tags."
gosh, she thinks I'm." So I actually did sign the autograph, but
that's stolen valor.
I signed it Macklemore,
Change
and I drew a fish next to it.
That's on brand.
And
That's
like
a good-
I'm a
that's
dad, I'm a
good
dad,
cooking
and it's
joke.
a good chef joke, and like
Yeah.
so that happens.
That's
I
a-
love it.
that's
I
a-
love how all the mistaken identities are rolling through the best.
That's a wonderful mistake.
Yeah, there you go.
Richard, I'm curious to how you started in showbiz, how you even started being a chef.
Yes. So, well, this is, I don't know if you have, I had a very prestigious, I've been hanging out with Gordon,
No.
a very prestigious start. I don't know if they have these restaurants around you, but when I was 14, my first restaurant job was a little place. They have like burgers and fries. But I'm not sure if they have them here. McDonald's. Do you guys have? You do?
We do.
You have McDonald's?
McDonald's.
We're all at the McDonald's.
The Big Mac? The Big Mac?
Okay, yeah.
I was the poissonnier at McDonald's at 14 years old. Now, poissonnier means fish cook in French.
All right.
So that is a very important position.
You're on the fryer.
At a
That fish
McDonald's.
fillet,
Yeah,
yeah.
banging out fillet of fish. First batch I'm making, right? I'm just whatever. I like as young as you can be legally to work at a McDonald's.
Yeah.
And the first batch of fillet of fish I send out, I forget to put the top bun on it. So like people are coming back through like the drive-through, but little did I know that was my calling to being an avant-garde chef. I was serving
Really?
open-face fish sandwiches at McDonald's.
You know what? The
at
extra
14.
bread, the extra. Okay, I would to even give you more fuel. I would think just as a home cook that putting that bread on top of something that's freshly fried is not going to make the crisp that you had on the top of that fillet a little mush, too much humidity, or
I
too
like
much
it. Like
wetness, right?
You're judging it like you're on a show.
Yeah, well, that bun's
You're like,
going to hold
yeah,
in some of
no,
that
this-
moisture. I want that fish on the top of that bun to stay crispy on the top, so I get that crunch.
Yeah,
You know what I love? You're walking right now into like if you ever do find yourself competing on a food show, just BS your way out of it. Be like, oh, don't tell them you forgot the top bun. Just do exactly what you just
Yeah,
did.
it's reimagined.
Well, let's
Yes.
let's segue to that because
Yeah.
you're a good talker. We watched a lot of interviews with you. We're watching you all morning long.
Sorry
How
about
much of no, it was great. How much of that is you just using your gift of gab, your wit, your creativity to walk your way through a recipe? Is that a part of being a successful chef?
I mean, I think being creative is. So it doesn't matter if you're talking or if you're cooking a dish or if you're explaining something. So the ability to adapt, think on your feet, that all
Yeah.
plays in. But there's always has to be some sort of truth to it. You know, like, I mean, you do find things sometimes like sort of happy accident, ingredients or recipes that come because you made a mistake. You know, the old chocolate peanut butter smashes together. And look at that. You know, we have an award-winning chocolate bar. I think. I don't know. Have they won awards? I think
they win in
yeah.
my
So-
house. I mean, the family loves.
and look how much TV I've been on. I didn't even say Reese's. Like I'm trying not like
Yeah,
stay so like
yeah.
we don't have to. Can I say it? Can I say it?
Yes, you can.
Okay,
Yeah,
I said it already.
Reese's sucks. It doesn't matter here. Like you're in a free area.
Oh, believe me, we used to work in corporate radio, and they were.
What do you mean you said Coca-Cola? You're fired. We're
So,
like,
well, yeah, so much so they didn't want and even the listeners don't they're trained never to say like big brands, and really it's only because it has nothing to do with getting sued.
No.
It's because they're afraid of somehow insulting an advertiser,
Yeah.
Yes.
either future advertiser or current.
and sometimes
So,
it would work
don't-
both ways. Like we've been doing radio so long that I'd be like, yeah, man, I went out the other night. I went to this place called Yogurt Land. It was really good. They'd come in. why are you giving them free advertisement?
Yeah.
You can't mention Yogurtland.
Yeah.
You have to say a yogurt place.
I had you want to hear a crazy, like, true story?
Yes,
no one's
yes.
ever heard this story.
Yes, yeah.
So totally accident. I've been on the show Top Chef. The first year we're on it, we go do the Super Bowl. And this is kind of a segue from that story. And we're doing like a Top Chef challenge in the Super Bowl pregame. And I'm like a creative chef, so I'm like, great. The Steelers play at Heinz Stadium. They have a player named Heinz Ward. And this is live pre-Super Bowl. And
I love it.
I'm like, listen, I did this dish, and I'm talking to the judge who's judging. It's like Jerome Bettis or whoever it is, Chris Collinsworth. Who knows? And I'm like, yeah, so this is Heinz barbecues. And I'm totally doing it just because I'm a creative, and I'm trying to connect to the theme.
Exactly. The Heinz.
An hour later, the legal is like, you just gave Heinz like the biggest 90-second shout out. And they thought I did it intentionally. They thought that I
was
did
like
it
some
intentionally.
Plurgola, like the Heinz.
No,
I'm just getting paid in ketchup.
I'm just a dumb chef who likes to connect my idea to the theme.
I like how like big networks and like big media expects you to know these behind the scenes legal and advertising stuff. And you're like, I'm trying to perform. I'm just like,
guys, I forgot to put the top bun on the sandwich. I'm definitely not in some legal scheme right now.
So I'm curious too, what when you were working, because I assume you're obviously a chef before you got into TV. So did everybody around you constantly say like, "Hey, you should be on TV. You're good at talking. You can perform."
Got a huge Malcolmore pompadour.
Like did people constantly, kind of like a stand-up comic, their friends say like, "I used to do comedy. You're funny."
Yeah. No, not at all. Yeah.
Really?
And I would say that all of this has been like, I learned on the job, right? Like in the field. So I was a chef, just like many chefs are, like in the back kitchen. I don't even want to go to the dining room. I don't want to barely talk to my staff. And I was really that like behind the scenes sort of chef. And it took me a long time. Like I have on a DVR or whatever, VCR tape somewhere, like my first appearance on like a local news thing, and it was horrible. I'm just
really,
and then I put the lobster in it, and then I get just so stiff and so. What I learned was making people happy is the same. It's the same trigger. Like whether I'm cooking a dish for someone, chatting with someone, performing. All I'm trying to do is make people happy. Once I connected that, then it got a little. Did I answer your question?
Yeah,
I don't even
absolutely.
know.
No,
Yeah,
well, because some people go into it where they're a huge personality, and then just literally put them on TV, and then just do what they've been doing their whole life. And some people have to learn how to perform, or at least project.
Yeah. You're kind of like that, right?
I was shy when I first got it. Like started interning in radio.
You too have a pompadour.
Where I'd be nervous to get in front of people. Like I don't like public speaking. It was like
you'd stay in the back. You hate seeing your staff.
So you didn't want to be in the spotlight.
Yeah, it's exactly the same with you. I wasn't being funny. It's serious. Like he tells me all the time. He's like, "This is not what I was supposed to do," and I'm like, "Well, don't tell me that now." Good Lord, we're riding this to the grave now.
You learn after, almost 20 years of, and then it becomes, but it's practice.
Yeah.
It's
not your first love.
No.
It's not.
I'm not. I can't wait to get on the stage and have people look at me. I don't want to do it.
Yeah. I get it.
So, but over the years, you just learn to what they want.
I learn is like, I started enjoying it. It's fun.
Yeah.
I love to cook. I love to talk about cooking, and I love making people happy. So that's the connection.
Let's talk about the restaurant here in town.
4 Flamingos.
Yeah.
At the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress.
Why
yes,
4?
Come say hi to
Why 4 and not 3
Why
flamingos?
4?
One for each season.
Yeah, so it was, listen, when restaurants get named, it's a big, long process. And the 4 flamingos represent the 4 species of flamingos in the U.S., Central, and South America.
I didn't know there were 4.
Right, you would think there was more. Who knew? Now you know.
I would think there was less. I thought there was 1. Right, the flamingo.
It's a standard.
The standard.
So that's why the 4 is in there. And maybe there were 4 people that helped make that decision as well. So sort of secondary. And then
I want to be a flamingo. I paid a lot of money.
Now the question really is there a 5th flamingo?
But he's like D'Artagnan. Like of the 3...
It's like the Beatles, right? Isn't there like another...
of the 3 Musketeers. The 4th Musketeer's name was D'Artagnan.
So, Rich...
Just Google it.
Well,
it's true.
And we're here to promote the 4 flamingos, but it's hard for me to say.
Especially
I can
when you're
barely
drunk.
talk.
He's
Richard.
drunk. He's drunk right now.
A Richard Blaze Florida kitchen.
Always drunk.
But the being a restaurant owner or investing
It
into restaurant,
scares the hell out of
it's
me.
a business that first of all, I've never worked in, but it looks like everybody's
hardest
stressed
business?
out,
Yeah.
and the margins are small, and there's no room to make any error whatsoever.
And it's go time at all times.
and figuring out food, how much to order, and the cost, and
That's the thing that gives me anxiety without even owning a restaurant is knowing how much. Now, I'm not talking about cooking. Cooking, I love cooking. How I tell you all the time, I use it as like an anxiety killer for me. Cooking to me calms me down.
Oh,
I put
nice.
on music and I cook, and I love following the steps. I know the process, and I know if I trust in the process, I'm going to get this great meal out of it, right? Like,
There you
what an
go.
awesome thing to do. But the idea of having to manage the ingredients for a week, a month, whatever.
or cook in that high pressure
No.
environment.
So hard.
So with that, I bet a lot of people don't even realize what goes into, because branding has something to do with it. The name, what the price of your meal, how you organize your menu, so much goes into it. And just from seeing shows that you've been on, and just reality shows about opening up restaurants, and there's so much to it. How do you even know what the right move is? Because some people, I imagine, open up a restaurant that on paper everything is the right way, and then it fails.
Yeah, well, I mean, you never know, right? And I always say that it's like how many? It's three trimesters, right? When a baby's born, right? It is 3. There's the 4th.
I don't know.
Right, there's try
No.
3.
I mean, I can tell you the part I know a lot about off air.
But it's like a baby. The baby's not done growing until after it's born, right? That's what I'm saying. So
I don't know. My wife had this app, and it's like, now it's a lima bean. Now it's the size of a Tinker Toy.
Right.
Now it's a soda can. I'm like, I don't want to know any of this until it's healthy.
Yeah, I
So-
only know the very, very beginning.
So it's still you have to pivot, right? Like using the tech business model. Like you create the product, you have the product, but you also have to see how it's going. 2 months in, 3 months in, 6 months in. We're about 6 months in now at 4 Flamingos. So you come up with the plan. You have to have the great product, delicious food. You have to source it really, really well, and then you got to figure out who's coming into the restaurant, and you got to make sure that you're constantly pivoting and evolving for the guest that is in your restaurant. So
Apparently,
it is a challenge, and it is a hard business. You hit all the profit margin is slim. There's no clearance rack in food. When it's gone, it's gone. When
Right.
it's bad, it's bad. You can't sell it for a discount. So it's just everything's super perishable. Labor, as we know right now, is super, super tough. But when you have the resources like we do at Hyatt, and we have the amazing team that we have, that's when it gets a little bit easier. When you got a lot of people doing what they love, that's how you make it
The
good.
chat room is melting.
Is it,
now.
is that a good thing?
No,
It's
they
melting?
love you. They love you. In fact, Christine, I will tell, Christine loves you. I will pass that on.
Yes.
She
What's up,
is
Christine?
geeking out and
Yes.
losing her mind, isn't she, Sam? She's melting in the chat room. The ladies,
She's
ladies love
moving
you.
her work
Some-
meetings
Some
to
married
ladies so she
man.
can watch.
I
Some
didn't
married
even,
man.
I didn't even know we were going to be on video.
I'm
so
sorry.
I'm
we
in a
should start
sweaty-
telling people we do that.
No, it's okay. I
We're
kinda
also
like it.
X-raying your body right now.
Okay, that's all right.
No, I'm kidding. Not about that part. We're
Well,
not doing that.
you have a lot of interesting skills, and I put you in the category of a Gordon Ramsay
Very
and other
specific skill.
Well, other entertainment chefs that also own businesses, because to even be a chef and own a business, you got to be a good manager, and you have to know the right people to surround yourself with, and the right people to manage what you own and things.
true.
And that is a completely other skill, a whole new skill that some people only have. But for you, I know I'm giving you a lot of compliments here, but
I appreciate it. I'm
to you
taking
to be
it.
a good performer on TV and have that down, be a good speaker, and then also the chef part about be a good chef and manager and business owner. That's a lot of
That's a lot of flamingos.
a lot of things to be good
That's
at.
like 19
I should just
flamingos.
leave right now. I should just leave. I'll see you guys at the
Yeah,
restaurant.
please don't,
It's
because
hard.
Christine
Yeah.
canceled her meeting. Is probably getting fired because she wants to sit
Christine,
and watch you.
don't cancel the meeting.
She did. She
It's already
did.
done.
Already done. Yeah.
Come say hi to us tonight, though. If anyone wants to see us in person.
Yeah,
We're at the
absolutely.
restaurant.
Tell us about tonight.
Let's speak about the
We're serving dinner. I'm going to be there.
I didn't know.
really?
Oh my God, you're going to be there. She probably will go down there
Yeah.
now.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Hey, listen. You're giving me lots of compliments, but you mentioned I am a big sports guy. Like I'm more of a Phil Jackson type sort of manager. Like just go give the ball to Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and let them do what they do. So you said like bringing people on, like that is kind of what I'm good at. Find people that love what they do as much as you do and let them do their thing. Don't try and micromanage and just let them be great. Like that's hard sometimes for people who are managers. They want to get in there and like micromanage everything.
Yeah.
What? Like I got a buddy of mine that in Miami that is he is a general manager to a bunch of wing places.
But he's the nicest guy you'd ever meet. But there's a level of assertiveness that he commands.
But then also he tells me all the time, like the number one problem, I hear this all the time, is like finding employees, like the managers of the restaurant, finding employees to run the restaurant, because like he tells you like you have to be a strong team, and it goes all the way down to the person washing the dishes.
It's everybody, yeah.
And then it's like, well, you can't find a person to wash the dishes, then you have to lean on other people to do more jobs, and then everybody's stressed out. And then I'm like, oh my God, the amount of stress that you're describing, I can't believe. Like that you deal with that every day. He said every day you're walking into an emergency. And I'm like,
no, that's true.
Who chooses to get in the restaurant business?
It is about solving problems all day.
Yeah.
Like that's the restaurant business for sure. But why we're talking about wings, because now I'm hungry.
Oh,
like what's your go-to wing sauce? Like what are you
talking
talking
I'm a
about
garlic
for me?
Parmesan type of gal.
Wow. Like out of like a very creative take, garlic Parmesan
Yeah,
is
that's
like
my
advanced.
fave.
That's
Yeah.
a 401 wing sauce.
I do a mixture of carrots, and then I use fresh habaneros, and then I use jalapenos, and I make like a sweet paste, and I paste it on my wings, and I grill them.
Are you serious? Like,
Pasty wings.
Yeah. I make like a habanero
serious?
paste. I'm serious.
you make a carrot habanero paste.
Yeah, and I kind of clunk it on there. I stole it from another restaurant around
Okay.
town that I won't mention, to go back to what we were
You
saying
know I'm
earlier.
not.
I don't want to give them free
By the way,
advertising.
I'm not like judging this, right?
No.
Okay, I was going to say. It's like-
Yeah, it's like, I'm not making
not
that.
everybody likes
I'm
it.
just
I feel
eating
like
wings.
you're trying to impress me. I was going
I-
to say
I
like
was-
He doesn't say everybody.
Yeah.
okay.
I know I'm not. He's right. I do this to everybody, but like, no, I like a really spicy wing.
Oh, I like that.
And I like to have it like a little more. I don't like wet wings either.
Go
I
with
like 'em
harissa. Do you know
dry.
harissa? That's a North African chili spice.
I don't know what that
That works
is.
great with carrots. So that's what I'm going to
okay.
take your recipe to the next level.
I'll write it
Pardon
down.
the pun.
I like that.
I like the hottest wings you could possibly eat.
does.
So it's burning my face and sweating, and then my wife's yelling at me, "Why do you do this to yourself? You're not even enjoying it." And
Yeah.
I'm like, I am, and I can't.
These are happy tears. They're happy tears.
And I don't know why I like the hottest ones you could buy, but I don't know. I just gravitate.
Okay, so
towards
now,
heat.
so I'm sorry. Now I'm interviewing you.
No, I like that. That's
So
fine.
so now you got the hot. Everyone seems to like spicy. I know garlic
Not
parmesan.
me.
Oh, garlic is spicy though. Well, so I'm going to
Okay.
accept it as spicy.
All right.
So now, how do you soothe the spiciness? I had a short-lived show that sort of went through the science of food. So do you? I mean, how do you soothe it? Is it a cold glass of water, ice cold beer? Do you?
I go with I'm trying to get
Ranch dressing?
as drunk as humanly possible,
Okay.
so that I can numb the pain. Similar to
Yeah.
when you get shot in a war and the guy's giving you the flask,
morphine, right?
Oh,
On the- yeah.
the flask. He's like, "This
Oh,
will, you know."
I went right for the morphine.
Well, so okay. So you're just going alcohol.
Alcohol,
Okay,
yeah.
that's.
I would probably wait. I'm a waited out guy. Because I've never
Wait
found
it out. Like-
yeah, I've never found it. I know.
That's not even like.
I know.
Wait it
I know.
out.
See, he said he's
Like,
going to do the thing.
There
I'm
was
doing
multiple choice, and you
Yeah.
decided to just not even do one of the
Because
choices.
milk doesn't work for me, and then I got friends that they'll try to prank you. They'll be like, "Oh, you put mayonnaise on your tongue," or you know, like, "Oh, go eat some sand."
Well,
and I'm like, "I'm not doing any of that. I'm just
Listen,
going to wait it out."
Your friends that tell you to do mayonnaise are your good friends. That's what you should do. It should be something creamy and dairy based. It should be milk. You should be dunking your head in the ranch dressing after spicy wings.
All
That's
right.
my-
I'm into that.
That is my
Yeah.
hot
That's
take
my
on
kink.
a hot topic.
I
Right
like
there.
that.
There it is.
I like that.
Oh man, we should be eating wings right now.
And ask
hot
everyone-
wings.
I had some wings
Write that
last
down.
night.
Write
Oh,
that
we
down.
need to do some
Wing
four flamingo
Wednesday.
wings.
Well, interview whilst the
Hey, listen, I'm going to do some like live marketing right now.
Yeah, no one's done that.
Would you come to, if I did this, and this, I'm literally like, we're workshopping this live. Would you come to Four Flamingos? Would you come to the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress if I threw a hot wing, liquid nitrogen margarita pool party?
Oh, yeah, of course
Would you
we
come
would.
down?
Yeah.
Richard,
Yes.
you
Yes!
I would dress as a flamingo.
Oh, it's the pool party. You had me at pool party.
Yeah, I didn't even have to say liquid nitrogen.
No,
pool party.
No, you didn't.
You could just said, "Will you come to my pool party?"
Yeah, I spent an extra $1,000 and I didn't need to.
In fact, I'll follow you anywhere.
What do you want to
What
do?
is happening?
we're doing. Can you see?
You convinced me. You're
Is
good.
that-
at
is the
everything.
chat room-
showdown.
Is the chat room coming to the party?
Yeah, they're all yelling F words. F
Oh, yeah,
this.
they're
They're freaking out.
Saying and take my money.
Liquid nitrogen pool party. It's going to happen this summer. We're going to make it happen.
I love that idea. And you said flamingo wings, and I'm like, but they got to be
not flamingo.
I'm talking flamingo.
I've always wanted to eat a flamingo.
I love this. So listen, okay, so when you open up a restaurant, you name it flamingo, you have to do a deep dive on flamingo. So here's an odd fact. Historically, people have eaten flamingo.
Oh,
wrong.
I hate everything.
This is true, but it's a Roman delicacy. A Roman delicacy.
Little boys are a Roman delicacy.
Not one of the 4 flamingo species, but I'm just letting you know that I did find that you can find recipes, old recipes.
Well, you could probably...
What do you do? Braise a flamingo leg? What do you do with it?
You know what? But you're a chef, by the way.
No,
you're giving off like major
no,
chef
I
vibes.
love
Oh,
cooking.
he does it.
You're
I
making
really
wings with carrot paste.
I love cooking. I'm not good at it, but I'll try things.
But you got another, and you're ready to compete because, like, if you don't know what to do with something, braise it. Like, just cook it long and slow.
Braise
What is
everything.
this?
Hold on, now I
It's
want...
an elephant's foot? Braise it. Bat's wing?
This
Braise
might be
it.
our official chef because he speaks our language. We have been talking about braising elephant feet before on our show.
Oh, I love it.
I bet you could still eat a flamingo in Cuba because my buddy went to Cuba and had manatee.
He ate a manatee. That's a true story.
And then I think they could probably...
And we asked him,
flamingo.
how was it? He's like, very fatty.
yeah. Like, there's probably still places you could order flamingo on the menu.
I bet you could get both.
Right?
A surf and turf. You get a little flamingo, a little manatee.
Also,
Sorry, Richard.
quick little disclaimer. No one should be eating manatee,
No,
flamingo.
No, it's all
or
illegal.
elephant.
God bless
No,
God's
my-
creatures.
My PR
Small.
person just looked at me and was like, thank you.
Yeah.
For that.
And you
No.
ixnay on the
This is Tom and Dan
Yeah.
saying
No
this.
endangered species,
Yeah, he
no
never
exotic
said that.
animals.
He never
That's
said
not-
that.
we're
We
not-
said that.
Yeah,
We're not condoning that.
Tom and Dan condone eating everything.
Yeah.
Anything you could
Yeah,
eat.
eat
We're
your
fine.
napkin. You can be sitting for me. Just start eating a napkin. It's yummy.
So, tell me more about the pool party. So, what's a nitrogen?
Back to the pool party.
What do you mean nitrogen pool party? What is that?
Yeah, so liquid nitrogen. I mean, if you, if you're a true trailblazer, fan of Richard Blaze, you know that liquid nitrogen is one of my favorite ingredients. It's actually a part of the hair recipe, which is equal parts nitrogen and duck fat, but also don't do that at home. Don't put liquid
Have you ever had duck fat? Anything in duck fat?
I've had duck before.
You have?
Yeah, I've
Clearly.
had French fries and duck fat.
the best.
Well,
Oh,
I
yeah.
had them first time I had them in L.A. They're so rich though.
Duck
I
fat
can only have like
poutine?
3 French fries. I'm like,
No.
like they're so good.
That's my weakness. French fries are like, I can't say no to French fries.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter, right?
I went to this place in L.A. called Grill 'Em All. I don't know if you know. It's like a metal-based hamburger joint.
Yeah.
Where all the hamburgers have names after like death metal bands, and they fry their French fries in duck fat, and they're really, really good.
Oh, I love
But
it. Yeah.
rich.
Yeah.
Holy
So
mo-
good. So delicious. So delicious.
You got to try that.
Liquid nitrogen freezes things.
Yes.
So, like,
I've seen
tequila,
Terminator.
Exactly. So margaritas, like we use it to make cocktails. We use it to make ice cream. We use it at Four Flamingos to make an oyster dish. We put pearls on our oysters made of ice cream, which is basically Dippin' Dots that we do in house.
Okay.
Dippin' Dots, ice cream of the future.
Yeah.
Went out of business 2 years ago. Invented in 1985. We're bringing Dippin' Dots back, but here was the problem with Dippin' Dots. Their flavors were like vanilla, chocolate, strawberry.
Yeah.
We're doing like olive, horseradish, right? Like
Horseradish Dippin' Dot.
Yes.
I like it savory.
That's where Dippin' Dots went wrong. Their
you-
flavors were too mainstream.
So you do a nitrogen Dippin' Dot of, let's say, horseradish
On
for
an oyster, yes.
And I love oysters.
yes, are you here for it? Or are you there for it? You're here for it.
I'm here for it.
Do kids still say that? I'm here
They
for
do.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I didn't know what you meant because I'm not I'm an old ass man. But I'm like, yes, I'll eat the oysters with the ice cream on them.
Yes.
I'm all,
Horseradish ice cream.
yeah, I'm down with that. 100%.
What do you like? Do you have to order liquid nitrogen from some sort of?
That was my next question. I don't know. It sounds like something a dentist gets, and you beg him, like, yeah, I'm going to come and give me some of your nitrogen.
where can you find liquid nitrogen besides in the culinary sense? I mean, of course you can. If you use public transportation, you can find it in a big city subway station.
We don't have that here.
Okay, you don't have that there. Your amazing football teams run onto the field through liquid nitrogen, spraying liquid nitrogen. If you ever go to the local discoteca, sometimes they'll spray it on the dance floor to cool things off.
How did you
in the
know
middle
we're
of the night.
dancers?
Exactly.
How did you know?
If you're doing some home remodeling and welding, some copper pipes in the bathroom, usually liquid nitrogen is used to cool off a pipe maybe that's been welded. So
All
there's
right.
4. There's actually a website like 1,009 things to do with liquid nitrogen. I personally have invented 9 of them. I think. Maybe 12 by now. Who knows?
Do you ever get any heat from other chefs that are like, oh, he's doing the nitrogen?
Oh, they
thing?
hate me. They can't stand me. Yeah,
Really?
it's like, dude, come on. Like, liquid nitrogen again. Like,
Is
get a new thing. But, like, they're cooking with butter every day.
Yeah.
No one says anything to them.
Exactly.
Right? They're using salt all the... No, I use butter and salt.
I was going to say, do you leave that out, nitrogen only?
Yeah.
But is it as competitive as we think? You know, we sit at home, we watch these shows, we see what
Yeah.
you do, and it does give me, again, I'm the anxiety guy, but I watch it and I'm like, damn, I don't know if I could do that because it looks extremely, extremely competitive.
It is. It's really competitive. It's really hard. And, you know, now that I'm judging and hosting a lot of shows, I always try to take that into account, too. Because, like, it is... If we just started a challenge right now and said, hey, everyone in this room's got 10 minutes to go into the break room fridge and come back and cook a dish, which, by the way, we're doing right now.
Yeah.
A lot of White Claw dishes.
The next twist. 3 White Claws.
Yeah.
I like it when they do the
Splash of hot
thing where
sauce.
they're like, and time starts now.
Oh, I love that. It's one of my favorite moments, too. It is the little, like, dink.
Yeah, oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And they're running, oh my God, pushing Tom out of the way so I can get to the White Claw first.
Yeah.
Richard, when
Yeah.
you're judging like a food competition, I feel like because I always put this in terms of like what I would do, and because it seems logical. So if someone asks me like, "All right, here, judge this macaroni and cheese," and they hand it to me, and then I take a bite, right, and then because the camera's on me and I know I have to fill time, I'm just gonna start maybe even criticizing it, even though I don't really think that way, because I can't just be like, oh, it's good. Like, you have to start filling time, and I feel like that's going to either skew you one way or the other, and it can't be 100% honest. Like,
No, it's got to be 100% honest. These people win money. These things are legal, so they're honest. Now, you're right. You can't just say, it's good. You're never coming back to that show as a judge.
yeah, exactly.
If your hot take is it's good, you know, like it's never going to work. So, but one of the challenges of judging, I think, is where you get into is like you have to figure out how to have the vocabulary to say not just it needs salt, it needs a squirt of acid, it needs some lemon juice, whatever it is. You got to talk about the dish. You got to say like this dish is as creamy as Morgan Freeman's voice. You got to come up with like.
Oh, see, look how good
gotta
he is.
paint-
My
you gotta-
God.
you gotta
I didn't know where you were
paint-
going with that, but it landed. And I'm like, that's all right.
You got to paint a picture, you know? So it's like, this reminds me of, you know, like playing in my backyard. This has got like an effervescence of garden hose to it, you know? Like it takes me back to my childhood. Things like that.
You just elegantly described drinking out of a garden hose.
Yes.
All right.
Because I bring this up, me and Daniel from being in the radio world, we used to get constantly invited to be food judges for chili cook-offs
Yes.
Oh,
and
God,
other
all
stuff.
of them.
You know,
These guys like to eat.
Yeah, they're fat. Like, get them out there. And I was like, oh, hold on a second.
and I always used to say, I was like, well, this is kind of disrespectful to all the restaurants and the chefs that are cooking like their ass off to win a prize, and then the judges sitting up like,
they put us out there like two primates.
well, just a bunch of fat radio guys that have no idea about anything culinary. Like we have no background in anything. Like we're fat radio guys.
We're UCF graduates.
And you have the experience. Then it gets tough when you're tasting like 12 of them. That's one of the
Yeah.
challenges. Because the first one, if you're hungry, you're like, that's delicious.
Right,
I'm
right.
super
Sure,
hungry right
yeah.
now.
And then, you're right. And then I'll give the grading of I'll be like, this is good. And then after the 8th one, I can't taste anymore. I'm full. And then I'm like, is this good or bad? Or is this because I've already had a gallon of chili and I don't want to eat anymore? Like,
And then just like the hot wing scenario, we start drinking the White Claws, and then we're drunk.
You're getting into a deep dive of cooking competitions, though. Like, if you're up first or early and you do some, like, highly spiced food or acidic food or something with a lot of flavor, you kind of... it's like the judge is kind of is blown out. His palate's blown out right now. So if you go early, you hit the judge with some spice. The people behind it, it's kind of tough. Like it's a tough game to judge it. And sometimes if you're thinking about that as a competitor, it can serve you really, really well.
Do you? Yeah. Do you?
I never did, but I know that is the case, right? Like
It's an edge.
It can be an edge, right?
Yeah.
If you're like a chef who's just like, no, this peach just fell from this tree and I put it on this plate and I just drizzled a little olive oil on it.
Yeah.
But
So
before
natural,
you, it
so
was
fresh.
like, this is Cajun jambalaya. That peach is going to be so bland
Yeah.
next to that dish.
So, Richard,
thought about that.
last question: where do you go to relax? Like because you're constantly opening new restaurants and running these businesses and
writing,
on TV and
recording.
And so, where do you go to get away with your family? And do you never even want to see a kitchen when you get away? Do you want to cook for fun?
I do end up cooking at home a lot, more than most people think I do. I love to throw like the Sunday barbecue and just invite friends over. My getaway place is the golf course. If anyone's been following me on any social media, they're probably so over it. Like, I'm working so hard right now on trying to be a golf influencer that
I think that's cool though.
It is,
because you really enjoy it. It's like an authentic love.
I enjoy it,
Yeah.
and so like I played around this morning, and like I've also learned so many.
You're in golf land now.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
exact. So
this is
especially
golf
early
land.
on, when I'm not a good golfer, here's what I learned. I'm going to bring it back to the food world. I would hit a ball left, I'd hit a ball right, and I'd end up in the woods looking for my ball, and I would not find the ball, but I would find radishes. I would find carrots. This is dead serious. So,
what do you mean?
because there's wild vegetation out in the rough. There's like things you can eat out there. So like
carrots. I'm into a lot of golf courses.
Okay, well, you haven't played with me. I mean, when was the last time you had to identify a carrot in the ground? I mean, probably.
know.
No, you're right. Well, yeah,
I don't think I've ever had to.
Well, there you go.
I don't think I've ever had to do that.
Yeah, so like I started my own hashtag, golf foraging. Golf foraging. When your
I
ball, you
love
don't
that.
come back with your ball, but you come back with salad. It's
But
not.
then you should set the carrot on your tee and blast it all over the place, right?
You should. By the way, also, like, carrots are a tough find. I found carrots, but like once or twice in a specific location.
Mushrooms, I
Hold
think,
on.
would be easy around here.
Mushrooms are easy.
But
And then you get to see a lot of wildlife. Like, I played yesterday here in Orlando. I saw coyotes, turkeys, and a hawk. Come on. It's like there's so much. That's my relaxing place.
Yeah, turkeys.
Yeah.
And
You know, I just
And
thought
we
of-
didn't braise any of them.
I know.
We didn't braise any
Out of
them.
all three of those, which one would you braise? I'd braise the coyote.
Dude, it's a turkey.
Hold on. You know how?
No,
it's
they're
kinda
little
like-
though, right? Wild turkeys are small and
No,
they're
these are
scrawny.
big.
I like the big fat ones.
No,
that
these are this is a turkey. Like, he's been on a golf course.
Oh, okay.
Like, he's safe.
He's
man.
a kept
big and
boy.
safe. Yeah.
He's a kept boy.
Well, you know how like Brady and Rodgers are going against Mahomes and
Yes.
Josh Allen in a
Please
golf
go-
competition?
Yeah.
Hold on. Can there be celebrity chef golf competition? Is there any celebrity chef that's better at you than golf?
Oh, I'm sure there is. I'd have to go back.
What's
But,
that,
yes.
what,
But I-
Ramsey golf?
but listen, I'm serious. Like, my goal is to get on some of these pro-am moments and be like the chef who is up there on the tee, and like
this is not a bad idea because follow me. You
Each
do
hole.
Collect
one,
a different ingredient at each hole.
Yeah, and then,
Oh, then you cook something.
at the end of the front nine, you have to cook something, and then
Yeah.
you go play the back
No,
nine.
I liked it when it was just golf.
I know.
Guys. Now you're like,
I know.
no, we're gonna
make show here.
I was gonna say no one's asking Brady or Rodgers to throw a ball, but if you watch the match, they
They
did.
do, they do.
They're like, oh, you want to use a mulligan? You got to hit this target with a football.
Well, you know TV producers. That's the producers. Like, hey, we gotta have them throw something.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. We'll work on something.
Hey,
Just put the pants on.
Put some crabs out in that lake. If your ball goes into the lake, you got to come back with some crabs.
It's the mystery ingredient.
There it is.
I
There
love
is.
it.
All right.
All right, so let's finish with some Four Flamingos. So first, let's plug the pool party again. And
By the way, I love this because it's a pool party that does not yet exist.
Oh God!
But we're pushing
Tom's
it.
gonna
Damn it,
wish
Tom,
it.
get with it.
Tom wants to wish it into fruition. That's how crazy.
He thought we were doing this tonight.
Yeah, he wants a party.
When you're effing around, I really am going with you. When you
dry.
say pool party, I'm going to
He's
show
like, I'm
up.
in.
Yeah.
I'm going to be wearing chubbies by myself.
He'll be the only. You know what, Sam? We should have.
I'd be like,
We should have kept this going to the point where Tom showed up
I
in
know.
Tiny Dukes with his family in tow for a pool party.
You know he'd bring his kids too.
Mr. Blaze said there was a pool party.
I'm here, guest.
I'm here for Mr.
Family
Blaze.
of four for Mr. Blaze.
You're coming in your floats. You're coming dressed as a flamingo.
Yeah, dressed as a flamingo.
I gotta step up my
and
game.
we're going to make that happen in the summer. We're going to do a liquid nitrogen pool party.
Well, how can our listeners come and visit you though and the restaurant?
They can come to Four Flamingos, Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress, Orlando, Florida. Come say hi. I'm there tonight. I'm there frequently. And if I'm not there, the team's amazing. Come say hi to Chef Shelby. We got an amazing full bar, and the food is
love it.
amazing. We got a lobster tank because it's about vintage Floridian food. So, like, you know how many restaurants have bought new lobster tanks? Not many.
Yeah, you're
Not
right.
many.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
We
It's not
have
a thing anymore.
We have. So like just like really like classic Florida food with
love
a
it.
little liquid nitrogen, basically.
Can I
love it.
suggest a little something for your lobster tank?
Please.
Because every time I see a lobster tank, it's always bothered me that there's no like castle or anything in there whatsoever. Like,
Yeah, I want
It's not
these-
for leisure.
I know.
I know,
I'm
but
kind of with him. I kind of
just
want the
one
lobster.
skull with
Like I want
bubbles
them
coming
all
out.
to have like a hat.
Skull would actually fit in, yeah.
I want all the lobster to
going
have
in
like
there.
a hat.
yeah. Or you know,
like at least one of those. One
A
of
treasure
those.
chest that opens up.
I'm kind of with you. That is fun. It's like the diver that goes up and down. in the tank.
Yeah, he's controlled by the bubbles.
instead of just it's
Have one
always
of those.
just glass all around. I'm like, yeah, there's something in there.
Or maybe make it so it's coin operated, like where it's closed. So you got to put a quarter like a peep show. Goes up. You can look at the lobsters because they don't want you. Your kids are over there banging on the
you
tank.
put tiny bikinis.
Yeah.
Put tiny bikinis on them. Now we got some. Hold on a second.
Oh, I'm sorry, Richard.
The lobster bikini party.
Richard is going to be in the car, be like, I told you, I'm never going
That was
to
a
go back.
waste of time. I had to take my hat off and fluff my pompadour for
Gonna
this.
play another round of golf.
This is exactly what I thought it would be.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah, you're right. Hold on.
And also, I'd like to
I
add
love
in,
that.
I grabbed my phone about 2 minutes ago and was swipe crazy. That's because our air conditioning just crapped
It's
out again.
dead again,
It
yeah.
is dead, and it's getting hot in here, so we have to get this man out of here.
Yeah, Richard, thanks so much for coming by.
Oh my
man.
gosh, anytime. And we're going to see you at the pool party.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And next time you're in town, please come by and let's talk.
Okay, listen,
restaurants.
I'm coming by unannounced.
Yep, anytime you want.
know what? We'll roll with
We're
it,
here
too.
Monday
I'll
through
just be like,
Friday.
hey, Richard's here. Fire it up. All right.
He's got wings.
Where are we at with the tiny bikinis?
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan Samantha, our producers here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great.
What's wrong? You're looking over
Nothing,
at Tom
because
like...
if I say I'm fine or I'm okay, then you think something's wrong, so I have to say that I'm great.
No, you don't have to say you're great. If you just say I'm fine, I'll be like, okay, moving
No,
on.
you won't, though.
You're lying. You're
You'll
not
say,
great.
What's
You're
wrong?
not. What's
I know
wrong?
that.
What's happening?
You said what's wrong just now, and I said it's great.
Well, Tom said what's wrong. Not me, really. It's more him. He's concerned about you.
Kyle Eagles here. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on.
so,
Thanks for always being here, man. We appreciate you taking the time.
I appreciate having me, and thanks to Chris Crespo for making this happen. too.
Crespo?
So, Kyle,
Yes.
what's been going on with you?
A lot. I haven't seen you guys in a couple of years. Actually, I don't think it's been
Yeah.
Since the world shut
Some
down.
of the COVID years.
Yeah, a little bit grayer, a little bit blinder. As you can see, I'm wearing glasses.
You look good, man.
Thanks. You guys look great, too.
Lean and healthy. Yeah, we've lost some weight. It looks like you're muscly and like I like your style. I think that you and I, Tom, fail in business because we don't dress proper like our friend Kyle.
I don't have a studio like you guys do.
But
I'm still
whatever,
doing an underground
Kyle,
podcast.
whatever you're selling, I'm buying because I'm
Yeah.
like, this guy's got the goods.
Yeah, he walks out. I'm like, what is this? He's either a musician, a professor. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever you do, this guy F's. Am I right? It's that.
We dress like
Bums.
sloppy.
I've got on joggers for
Yeah,
Christ's
yeah,
sake
yeah,
and
yeah.
a Run the Jewels t-shirt.
Yeah.
Hey, Run the Jewels is cool, man.
They are cool, but like I dress like a teen boy. I dress like I dress like any person that plays Xbox in their basement. is what I wear.
You're not an adult.
Yeah, I dress like a video game kid.
Yeah.
Which is embarrassing at 40. I'm going to be 46 on Sunday.
yeah.
46 on Sunday, I dress like a child. I got to change my ways. Yeah, I know. Thank you. I deserve every minute of that.
Yeah.
I got to be a little more like Kyle Eagle.
Kyle looks like an adult.
He does.
He does.
He's serious.
It's attractive, man. Like I'm not blowing
Smart.
smoke either.
It looks
I'm
like he has
serious.
his S together.
I'm serious when I say if I were a woman or a gay man, all into you, man. I'd be like, this guy's got it to get smells good,
Got a
looks
blazer,
good,
little
blazer,
pocket
he's
chief.
got pocket square. Yeah, he's.
Yeah.
I look like crap.
Yeah.
Like crap.
If you lined us up and asked who is the richest, they're pointing at Kyle.
Oh, yeah,
all day
without a
long.
doubt.
All day long.
They should point at me.
No,
but,
you got to know how to go to the sale rack. You have to know that.
No, you know what
No,
you do.
you're put together.
Yeah.
That's what I never, and it will never.
Put
I'm already-
together. You don't know how to put together anything.
No, I know, and I'll never even achieve the term put together in my life.
You think
it's
you're
already
going to
done.
catch Kyle in flip-flops?
No,
it's
my
already
God,
done.
He likes his feet to be clean.
It's
He's
already
not walking
done.
these city streets and getting doo-doo and pee-pee all over him.
And I can't just start dressing like Kyle because people will see right through it.
They'll clown you.
Yeah, they'll think it's Halloween or something.
Yeah.
You know,
You know what? You'd be
Is it April Fool's
You'd
Day?
be a try-hard Kyle. You'd
Yeah.
be a try-hard Kyle.
because people have seen me
You
as a
got the
bum.
hair now.
You do have the Kyle hair.
The hair,
We
yeah,
got to
but
work
that's-
on everything else.
Yeah,
But from like the top of your forehead down, oh, it's all crap. It's all crap.
There's that alcoholic redness in the
Yeah.
middle.
Your hair is. I'll
And
give
my
you that. Your
teeth are
hair.
yellow.
Oh my, I wasn't gonna say anything.
I was just Maisie tells me in the pool.
Yeah, you know,
What did she say?
Did she
She's
really
like,
say
why
that?
are your teeth yellow?
She
yeah,
said that?
Oh yeah, she
Oh
does.
my god, I didn't know
Oh.
that. That's the first I've heard of that. My daughter said your
I
teeth
can't
were
hang
yellow.
out with your kids, man.
yeah,
But I'm like, it's the
Not with
bright.
your teeth. You get them white and you can hang out with me.
But I'm like the water and the way like I'm older.
Oh,
Maisie,
blame
I'm
the
trying to
water.
tell my daughter. Did you explain
I'm
to her
trying.
that
I'm like, your teeth are white. You're new.
Yeah, she doesn't eat either.
Yeah.
She never eats.
And I've it was coffee and
I
I
apologize.
did smoke for a while.
I apologize that my daughter bullied you in your
like-
pool.
Yeah. I'm like, sometimes I fall asleep. It really is called passing out. My brain. Anyway,
You notice if you have all your hair, you don't have all your teeth. And if you have all your teeth, you don't have. I
Yep.
notice a lot like I never brush my teeth and don't have any cavities, and they're bald. Like I got all my hair and I brush floss like a fiend,
Yeah.
and they just keep
Well-
coming out.
it's too hard to take care of both, Kyle. I mean, what do you
much.
expect?
There's a balance. you know?
Yeah. Like I know people that have like nighttime routines. My buddy Logic Man Andy has this, where he has
Andrea
this.
has a nighttime routine. She's lotioning. and
Yeah.
she's-
He's got this whole thing where he does these meticulous tasks where he's doing something with his hair and his face and the cream
Yeah.
and his teeth
I'm
and the
lucky
sonic
if
hair. and
I'm lucky if
the
I
picks.
brush. I'm lucky if I brush.
That's all. Yeah, the water picks. Like people get into water picks.
Yeah.
And, like you're doing a cleaning every night, and then you're
Well,
putting
like,
on socks
and
and
then
lotion.
there's things my wife has to do. And Kyle's got something to talk about, I
Sorry.
promise, and
Yeah.
we'll get to it. But my wife does things like she has to take her contacts out, switch them, put them in the thing, wash her eyes out, take a shower, wash her hair, dry her hair, straighten her hair, lotion her face, different lotion for body, right?
Yeah.
The lotion, all that. Shave her
Gloves,
legs, shave
feet.
everything else. Yeah,
Yeah.
put on the hands. You put the lotion on your hands, and you put on the protective gloves that keep your hands moist all night.
No,
You
no.
do the same to your feet. I'm not doing any of that.
No.
I'm just dying. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
lying here dying.
For
lying
years,
and dying.
I just fell asleep in the clothes I wore.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
fell.
Why do you think
Yeah.
I'm wearing joggers today?
Yeah,
This is what I had on last night. These are my pajamas.
And then I'd wake up and then just leave. Anyway, sorry, Kyle.
So, Kyle,
what have you been up to?
did
Kyle?
you-
You already asked.
Oh, okay. He didn't tell us. I just told you.
Well, there is a scandal, right? Let's just say
Yeah.
there is
Yeah.
a controversy in our midst. There's a controversy within our city. And did you find this out, or like how did we get to a point where you are now kind of like fleshing out the details of this scandal?
All right. So, do you guys know we're talking about the Basquiat scandal, right? guys
You
heard
got to
about
tell
it?
me about
Yeah.
this.
Okay, so Orlando Museum of Art has this Basquiat exhibit, and it's supposed to be these unseen works that were in a storage unit by a TV writer, Thaddeus Mumford, discovered about a decade ago, and the writer, Mumford, apparently was not aware of the value, and blah, 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 blah.
But his sons knew.
They bought them from him, this, that, and the other. And it's a story that's not outside the world of believability, but then the onion got peeled back, and you see that there's all these discrepancies that have been going back a year before the show opened. And I wrote about it for the Weekly in praise of it, and then I felt like an idiot, obviously, when because the same day my piece came out with the Weekly, the New York Times dropped a piece saying, check this. I'm like,
Yeah,
cool.
let's take a closer look here.
If you
Well,
love
how are you
Kyle
supposed to
Eagle,
know
you'll
Kyle?
love the Times.
You know.
And who is Basquiat?
So Basquiat is I would say definitely a blue chip artist. By that I mean his work sells for an exorbitant amount of money. He was the first artist of color to really be successful in his lifetime. I mean, in his lifetime, he made money. Controversial, very young. Certainly, he was a part of the hip hop age. I would say.
Okay.
And the Mumford connection made for a good cover because Mumford was also a good writer. And that's I knew who he was because I'm a geek like that. I do a lot of reading. Mumford wrote a lot of TV for MASH, Electric Company, Johnny Carson, Roots, and so it made a pretty good story. But it seems to be all fabricated. And then the proof is in the pudding a lot, like with the paintings that have the FedEx logo on the back and also on the front of them.
Yeah.
There's a FedEx logo there that dates to the 1990s. Basquiat died in the 80s. So unless they brought him back from the dead to paint this, that's, interesting.
Hold on, there's a FedEx logo on the front?
Well, a lot of the art is like.
Well, how did no one see that one?
How would you describe the art? It's like it's kind of unconventional. Like
it's expressive, graffiti stuff, and whatnot. Graffiti.
It's considered neo-expressionism.
Okay, yeah. I didn't want to classify it wrong because I know people get really upset when you do that.
And it's even in the catalog. I mean, it's one of these things. Like, wow, there's not a lot of effort made to hide this. In fact, I will say this catalog was given to me by Pierce O'Donnell, who's one of the owners of the work. He walked right over and gave it to me, and I was like, wow. And it's interesting because it looks like a lot of people at the museum are really going to end up ruining their careers for something as foolish as putting on a forged exhibit at the museum. And I'm saying this in my own opinion.
Right. So the controversy here is, just to boil it down for you and me and everybody else listening, is that we have this Basquiat. Am I saying that correct? We have this, this great showing here in Orlando. But the problem with it is that
they're fake.
They're not real pieces of art. So, and the controversy isn't necessarily that they're fake. The controversy to me would be that this is fake, and then you're putting it on as if it's authentic.
Exactly. And
that's the problem.
And it's caused a lot of uproar. It makes us look like
podunk.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Peckerwoods, I like to say.
That is an underused adjective. Write that down. Write down Peckerwood.
So Kyle, explain to me the business, because I'm ignorant to the museum business. But I would imagine,
it's big business.
You, if you have a collection of some sort, do you rent it? So the person that owns the collection, do you rent it to the museum so they can display it and they can make money, and then hopefully the museum makes more money than it costs for the rent of the displays? How does that work when someone does a piece like this or offers it to a local museum?
Sure, that can happen. You perhaps you purchase or you rent, so to speak, an exhibit that's already put together from another curator, another curatorial service, or people who donate work on loan. Like, say you have a collection of, say, Basquiat's. I want to put this on loan to the museum. You get tax write-offs for that. That's one reason why people with a lot of money buy expensive work, because you get good tax breaks.
Okay, because I'm trying to, anytime there's any sort of scam going on, I always try to look at what the intent of it is, or who's making the money, or who's scamming who.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if, for instance, I had a bunch of fake Basquiat's, right? Would it be the person that had the fakes trying to scam the museum so that the museum pays them so that they can use the fakes, and that's why the scam happened? Or is it a deeper, hey, we know these are... no,
well, that's what the investigation is.
I think that's what they're trying to get to the bottom of it. It's because it is one thing of, okay, there's different... You could go different ways with this. You could be like, we didn't know, and we thought they were, and here they are, and we're putting them on, and oh, whoops. Or it could be, we knew... Let's put them on. Let's do the thing. Nobody knows. Here it is.
All right. So let me see if I can break this down here. Okay. So,
and this is all alleged, by the way.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, the
FedEx.
You want to see it.
Right. No, I know what you mean.
I just don't know the detail. Then Mo's like, "You idiot! They're suing you." I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. I didn't even know there was a museum.
I didn't know. I didn't know no basket.
I can't even spell museum."
Yeah. Louis Anderson, Louis Armstrong, Zach Galifianakis baskets.
But I learned just because you're stupid doesn't mean you're innocent.
That's true. Most of the time it means you're guilty.
I know.
Most of the time they are guilty.
I should be innocent just because he doesn't know nothing.
Let's see if Kyle can boil this down.
Okay, so the thing is, so you got this work in which this exhibit has been shopped around to various other galleries, museums, and none of them took it. For the same reason as it just doesn't look right. Something smells in Denmark. And so this museum took the bait, so to speak. And the thing is, once you get this kind of work in a museum, it legitimizes it. Then it's all of a sudden...
Could be worth more, yeah.
Worth more.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, it's supposed to travel to another museum in Italy, I believe Florence, which would further legitimize it. The goal is the owners want to sell it at an estimated value of $100 to $200 million.
Right.
Which, hopefully, what we want to do, I think all of us in the kind of creative community here, is like make sure it doesn't travel. Put the kibosh on it. But so there's been a long kind of a web of creating this backstory to legitimize it, which is, like as I said earlier, you peel away the onion. It's not a pretty picture. The people who are behind it, who own the work, have a lifelong career of criminal activity.
That doesn't help them.
No, I mean, and really shady stuff. And you can just Google their names,
right.
you know, and so, you know,
right off the bat, if you show me someone's Facebook, I can tell if they're a scammer or not. That's all
we are pretty damn good at that.
Just by their profile pic, nothing else.
Yeah, I can do it just by looking at your face or your profile pic or lack thereof, because you may not even have one.
Yeah.
So, what is the way out? I mean, I don't want to try to jump to the conclusion or the ending quickly. Why are we not seeing a case of like, well, let's get this thing the hell out of here?
What's the museums? What are they saying?
Okay, so when the New York Times article came out, there was a big double down to defend it amongst a lot of people, polarized. One of the questions that's I think that's like concerning is how much of this money was spent to put this together. Public money, how much was that involved?
Right.
What it does to the reputation of the town, and also, too, the other side of it seems to defend it rather than admit to it being, possible forgeries. And the evidence proves the latter.
I mean, did they say like, hey, look at the FedEx sticker? Do they have a explanation?
I usually am like a very simple person. Like when you and I are handling problems, I'll address you.
Yeah.
When we're handling problems, this came up last week. Normally, the answer is as simple as, oh yeah, look at the FedEx thing. The date's wrong. All right, get this thing the hell out of here. We're done. You know, it's a very simple like.
Or your explanation of why this is here, and then they say that, and it's like, okay, well, maybe this is more complicated.
Yeah, why?
I don't know.
Why is there no? Yeah.
So there is. So they double down on it, and they make these kind of tone deaf statements about like, we did we feel secure in the provenance. The museum's director, Aaron DeGroff, had said make one statement. It's not the museum's job to
verify,
authenticate, and it is.
I was going to say, isn't that your only job?
No, it is your job.
Yeah.
The old man that looks like Dirty Jim from Pawn Stars calls in an expert if he doesn't know this is an old George Washington.
Yeah, it'd be like if somebody at the Smithsonian or something. I'm like, that is not my job to make sure these things are. I know that looks like an astronaut suit, but I don't know. It could be anything.
But even in like what I'm saying, even in like the public knows that show Pawn Stars, even though it's fake, I know that. But they bring in experts from that
to vet it,
to vet the actual.
So what's
thing.
the clap back on the museum saying it's not her job? What are people saying to that?
Oh well, first off, again, you'd have to so the bunch of remarks that were made, and that they were saying, this is the case of New York picking on a smaller city, which is not true because the evidence shows that this is, there's a lot of questionable stuff here, and at least two of these pieces are definitely fake with the FedEx logo on them. No doubt about it.
Oh, those New Yorkers are laughing at us.
They always
look
laugh
at
at
the Florida
us,
idiots.
Yeah, but they always move here, though. The thing, we're the sixth borough of New York.
Well, our weather's great, but our art is fake. I think that's the way the rhyme goes. Weather's great, art is fake.
I think it should be a bumper sticker.
Yeah, I mean, we could do it if it helps to raise money to get legitimate art in Orlando, because this is a bummer. For those of us that actually like to think that we are growing in the right ways, especially in the art community.
That's exactly.
This sounds like it's stalling us for years.
That's exactly what it is. And there are so you have remarks being made about like stuff. The museum has made remarks about like, we feel this exhibit falls in line with our mission statement, which I'm like, that's not the answer to the question.
Right.
Was it the fleece people? The exhibit's supposed to be up until next year. It's coming down this month, and they're explaining, the owners are going to move it, exhibit it, and travel it to Italy, which hopefully it won't. Hopefully there'll be such a dust storm kicked up that no one's going to want to touch this. It certainly is an insult, too, to a lot of people who do due diligence and try to bring things that are interesting, progressive. Because I think what we have here, and I think, you guys grew up here, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, DeLand, so sort of. Miami, but we've been here for, all of us have been, well, you grew up here.
O-Town, baby.
Yeah, she's the only one that but yes. Yeah.
Okay, so when you say that there's still a problem in a growing city like ours, like in a medium market city, that you have the powers that be haven't really grown with the majority of the people around. You see they kind of become bench warmers. They know they're bench warmers. Yeah. They don't like it, and they know people think they're a bench warmer. But when you get the opportunity to get off the bench, they usually drop the ball.
Oh, yeah.
And instead of...
like when we were talking to Brendan about downtown, how they're, like, doing nothing with it.
Oh, well,
they're just being complacent with how it is and not trying to, like... freshen the culture.
I think Brendan's take, Brendan O'Connor from Bungalow in the Bus or Bungalow, he was basically saying, we went through COVID, we had all these flash in the pan, like sort of come and go bars that had occupied space, and COVID sort of vetted it, to use that word again, and made it so there's area down there for people to do things with. There's great, real estate down there, and they're literally doing nothing with it. It's just... So kind of like we do always sort of drop the ball.
What's crazy to me is that now the New York Times article, I'm sure it goes more in depth into how or all the evidence that shows that they are fake. But there's got to be a Basquiat expert. I mean, whatever
the family, what do they say?
So let's go to that. Well, going back to the scandal, quick, I want to say something too. Is that there is a lot of people saying why wasn't anything being said or done about this in the locale? And I want to say there has been. Us at the Weekly, and I'm just a contributor. I'm a freelance writer, but our editors, Jessica and Matt, we have been working for months getting information, how we're going to put this together, how we're going to talk about this. And we got scooped again by the New York Times. But we've been getting information up to the minute. In fact, when I was driving here, I was getting more info from some board members that are coming forward. I'll get into that in a moment. Yes, there's a lot of fabrication. In fact, this catalog is no longer for sale online. But one of the foremost authorities on Basquiat, Jordana Moore-Segese, I might be saying her name wrong, and I apologize, was said to have authenticated these works along with Diego Cortez, a close associate of Basquiat, who passed away in 2021. So whether he did or did not, you can't tell.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's all, and so luckily for us, Segese's legal team reached out to us. They found out we were doing a follow-up and were concerned about how she was represented originally. And we printed a portion of the statement that we're given. It's in the article. It's online, OrlandoWeekly.com. You'll see it. And that it was her involvement was misrepresented completely, fabricated, tweaked to the owner's own what was good for them. And it's a poor thing too, because Segese is a really, really, really well respected authority, and it cheapens this. And now that we've got that to prove that she was not involved in it, the interview in the catalog it was fabricated. It never happened.
Oh, wow. So they didn't even talk to this person that, is this a simple case of, somebody maybe had a very small contact with this person and then just took that and said, I'm going to, because we all know those people, to put this in very layman terms.
Oh, yeah, I do that all the time.
Well, you do.
You know what? What's kind of screwed up, too, is you see this.
I say Kyle Eagle's my best friend to everybody. Yeah. It's like, I barely know the guy. I want him to be my best friend.
You mean that guy Dennis? Dennis? But what's interesting is that it's almost, you see this around, these kind of, Cliff Note grifts. Yeah. You see on the gas can?
Grift notes.
Hey, sorry, buddy, I ran out of gas over there 2 miles back. Can you have some money? That's a common scam that people use.
Sure.
There is an art scam that people are like, hey, I was doing a storage buy and I happened to find these works. And then you find some, you kind of anchor it with some kind of legitimate person who's dead.
Right.
They can't defend it.
Right.
And you make up a story. It's kind of like pyramid schemes. Always have a scripted model.
Yeah.
And
they never change.
No, they don't change. Yeah. But this show, they tried doing this show in New York and Toronto. Well, actually, it was a private show. I don't know to what extent, but it had the same kind of format and setup. And they used Al Diaz, another Basquiat expert. But again, to what extent, how legitimate was it? But yeah, you reach out to him. And, you show them the work, and if they have any respect for the career, they're going to be like, it's kind of outside the realm of possibility. I don't know.